Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, Hump Day evening, Wednesday night. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you guys so very much. We got some updates. We're going to talk about a little bit of this, that, and whatever else, but it is a late night with the Dago, and I appreciate you all being here once again. I hope you're all having a great night. I hope you had a great rest of your day from when I saw you earlier. You guys rock and roll. Please hit that like button as you come through the door, please, if you will. And again, like I said, we got some updates going around and whatever else we delve into, folks. So I don't think I need to say it, but what the hey? Let's get this show on the road. Here we go. All right, all right, all right. Here we are, back again. Guess who's back? Back again. Dago's back. Tell a friend. I know I'm the king of the cornballs, folks. Not the meatballs, the cornballs. I should have said that's what it should have been was cornballs, not meatballs. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. It's great to have you back tonight, and great to be here with you guys as we close the night out. You guys are amazing, and I love you guys for being here. Hope everybody again is having a wonderful night. First thing I want to say again is it was I really appreciate Barbara taking the time today and putting herself through all that again to come in here and tell us that story was absolutely amazing of her. And I God bless her to every aspect. And I hope that that's in some way anything that we can do to help her happens. I do. I'm grateful to know that Mr. Steve's working for her and with her, working for to help her, I should say, and working with her. That's an amazing thing. So I'm grateful for that. Um, really am. I'm praying very hard for that lady, and I hope everybody else that is a praying person will be doing the same because she needs it, guys. I really think she does. So, guys, on your way through the door, please hit that like button. Just a little bit of that DNA in there for me, please, 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 if you will. Hit the like button so we can get this out in the algorithm, guys. We got some updates and just whatever else we talk about tonight. It's a late night with me. We'll be here for a couple hours and Everybody can be off to bed. So thank you. Thank you for choosing me to spend your night with. I appreciate you very much for that. All of my Dago wit, since I'm witty. Isn't that what they said, Doodle? Speaking of Doodle, let's see who we got here. Tonight with us, the lovely and awesome Miss Sherry Wisdom Speaks. Thank you for joining us tonight. Love having you here. Miss Allison White, welcome back to you. Great to see you. MIA's in the house. Welcome back, MIA. Good to see you. Faith, Hope, and Charities Homestead. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And of course, my Doodle Bugs in the house. Always good to see you, Doodle. Thank you for being here. Ace's Mama, thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome back to you. Miss Victoria, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining us again. Miss E.B. Marie, welcome back to you. Mittens for Kittens, 435's in the house. Welcome back. Good to see you. Jingles, hey, hey, good to see you again. Mr. Steve, great to see you. NCTC, thank you for joining us tonight. Rocky Go Abouts, welcome back to you. Thank you for joining us. Miss Debbie Clark in the house. Welcome back to you, ma'am. Good to see you tonight. Let me see here. Let me see. Show. Miss Tracy, thank you for being here with us tonight. I appreciate you very much. Great to see you. In Stitch is in the house. Welcome back. Great to have you. Andy Rose, always a pleasure, dear. Great to see you tonight. Hope you're all having a wonderful night. And again, thank you for choosing me to spend your night with. I appreciate that. Miss Brandy B, the OG, never a doubt that I'll see you. Miss Marion Tate, welcome back, ma'am. It's wonderful to see you again. And I thank you again for joining us this afternoon. It was wonderful for you to come in to support Barbara. And I appreciate you so very much being in here. Guys, share this out if you can. I love seeing the new faces. And if you think that this is something that others will enjoy, please share it out. Get everybody else in here too. I got plenty of room and plenty of love for everybody, guys. Let me see, who else do I have in there that may have dropped in? Mr. Robert Bell, great to see you tonight. Welcome back. Shelly, great to see you. Always a pleasure. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat, grab a couch, grab a chair, grab a stump, grab the toilet if that's a comfortable spot for you. Whatever works. But get comfortable, please, if you can. Absolutely, Allison. I think a lot of us have and will be. I feel very bad for her, for everything she's been through. Oh, yeah. Clue's fine. I just left them. I was over there with them at Sarge's show. A lot of them will probably pop over here after he ends his show. He runs at 9 and every night. So they kind of overlapped a little bit, but they're good. They're good. They're safe and sound. And I hope everybody else too has made it through these crazy storms, guys. They're everywhere today. I've been saying little prayers here and there. God, please be with everybody that's going through this, because there's a lot going on, guys. It's crazy. Thank God it didn't hit us this time. We're safe over here. But as I was ending my show earlier, I had the weather pulled up and I was watching. It's everywhere. Tennessee, Missouri, Chicago. It was everywhere, all over the place. They weren't being prejudiced about where these storms wanted to go. That's a fact. So thank you. Absolutely, Miss Sherry. Thank you so very much. Guys, we got 38 likes here with 58 people. We can make something happen there. Please, if you will. I would greatly appreciate that. It always helps, and that's what YouTube wants from us. So let's make it happen. I'm trying to give it a few minutes to get some more peeps in here before I get rolling, so I ain't got to go back. So please bear with me, if you will. Yeah, I saw that. I was going to say Brandy's still under a watch. I was checking up on everybody's. She's still, thank God it's not a warning. It's just a watch. But down in Arkansas, you never know. It can flip the flip of a dime. It can happen. So good golly almighty, Miss Molly's in the house. Hello, Molly dear. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight, my dear. Good to see you. And thank you again for joining us this afternoon. I want to thank all of my moderators. You did a wonderful job at containing and keeping the which I had no worries about, but you kept everything good in the chat. My two producers, amazing stuff. I appreciate you both that were here at that time. Thank God Doodle's safe and sound. I was worried about you, dear. There's a lot going on down there for sure. So again, thank you guys for being here. Please share this out and hit that like button on your way through the door. If you will, please. Let's get this out there. Come on in, everybody. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Please come on in, sit down, and have a conversation with me. It's True Crime Cafe. Oh, Lord Almighty. Faith is saying, yeah, my mom's horse stables are destroyed. I feel so bad. She worked so hard to have them built with the animal. Okay, I was just going to ask you, Faith, are the animals okay? That is horrific. That's horrible. That I'm sorry she had to go through that. But as long as the animals are safe and sound, that's the big one there. God bless her. I hope everything works out. I really do. And I am so sorry to hear that. Thank you, Miss Sherry. Guys, please, if you will, check it out. Check it out. Our awesome Doodlebug, her channel. There is the link for it. Please check it out. Show a little love if you have not subscribed yet. And subscribe. I promise you will not be disappointed at all. While we're waiting, guys, bear with me. I'm going to play a little something here for you guys that I plan on playing in just about, it's at least when I'm talking about some of these cases, just about every one of my live streams that our awesome Doodle produced. So give me a moment here. All right. And again, thank you, Doodle, for this. Pay attention, guys. If you can, look at the faces. Look at the faces. We really got to do this. We got to keep this rolling as much as we can. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. What did I just do? Here we go. Again, Doodle, thank you for this, dear. It's time to stop minding our business when it comes to this. And that's not just with our children. That's with anybody that's missing, folks. So I appreciate you guys supporting that. Doodle, it's beautiful. And I love that you do this. And have done this. I thank you so much for that. Again, Allison, thank you for that. And so are you. A wonderful, wonderful thing. And like I said, we're going to continuously try and keep adding to that because there is so much more than that. That just barely scratches the surface, folks. Crafty Mama 733, Miss Charlotte Sank, and Straight Talker 76. Welcome. It's great to see you guys in here. My leg is going. I can't help it. My ADHD is like crazy today. Sorry. Marie from Tennessee. Welcome. Good to see you tonight. Cluminati's in the house. Welcome back. Good to see you tonight, Clue. Thank you for joining us. And you see, there she is, guys. She's safe and sound. They was worried about you, Clue, because of the tornadoes and stuff. Holly, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Let me see. Show. Andy, that was cute. I saw your little thing you put in the Discord. That was pretty wild. Check this out, guys. This is cute. You know, people have been seeing that all day long. Crazy stuff. Storms are everywhere, folks. Everywhere. Anyway, Gray Pearl, hello. You found me. Y'all found me. Well, I had to get things going. I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to be, but I was actually later than I planned on being, so trying to spread myself out. Sorry. Thank you guys for jumping in here. Seriously, I appreciate you guys. I always enjoy ending my nights with you guys as well as I like to start my days with you guys. That's a fact. So let's see here, guys. Let me make sure this is up and rolling over here as well. La da dee. And Cletus, by the way, hello. I always forget when I say hi to Clue. Again, guys, I want to thank everybody. This channel is still steadily growing. We are at 82, 83, and just little by little getting bigger and bigger every time, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you. Welcome, Summer Vibes. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a had a wonderful day and having a wonderful night. Okay, let me make sure this is linked in here. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. We're good. We are good. So, like I said, there's been some things flying around. Nick R, welcome. Missing in Tennessee. Hey, hey, that's right. Thank you for joining us, Nick. I appreciate you very much. And Miss Jenny Phillips, welcome to you. I've never really understood it, Sherry. My understanding was that, the Instagram thing was mostly like teenagers and stuff. So I've never really been on it. But a lot of people are telling me I should get one set up. So I will definitely do that. Oh, okay. I got you. I get it. Welcome back, Miss Molly. Internet, huh? I get it. Believe me, of all people. That's my thing, Brandy. I don't quite understand how it all works. That's why I tried messing with it once. When Miss Heather was here, I think she was taking care of that, and she knew all about it. So I just couldn't quite get it down. Original Rhinotone, welcome back. Welcome, Miss Barbie. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. We got 95 peeps in here, guys, with 70 likes. We can do a little bit better than that, I think, if we can. I just don't know how to post on it. There's a problem. And honestly, when I was looking at it, just because I look at in my other channel, I look at the other toy apps and stuff, like the toy channels they have at Instagrams. There's a lot of like half naked women in there in bathing suits posing for this. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's weird, but hey, to each their own, I guess. But we have the Facebook, we have the TikTok, I have a Twitter. And I was planning on eventually putting together at least a basic Instagram for those that like to run Instagram as well. Somebody else was talking to me about maybe streaming on Rumble while I was on YouTube as well. I don't know, because I looked at Rumble and I tried to set up a Rumble account. It's such a pain in the butt. Maybe it's because I'm so used to YouTube that it seems hard, but who knows? I don't know. Let's see here. Dark Whisper, welcome back. Great to see you tonight. Thank you. I was running it on here and Twitter. I did it 3 or 4 times, and some stuff changed in here. So I don't know if it was affecting it or not. So I stopped running on Twitter for streaming, at least. I know a couple people that run 3 or 4. They'll stream on 3 or 4 things at a time. I don't know how, but they do it. So, excuse me. Rumble sucks, does it? See, I've heard that. I've heard it's okay. Excuse me again. I've heard that it's okay from some people. From other people, I've heard that it's horrible. So it's acquired taste to whoever's using it for whatever they're using it for, I guess. With my other channel, the toy stuff, I was told that you need to set up a Patreon. I said, for what? I don't have enough content for a Patreon. You know what I mean? So I know a few people that are blocked from Twitter permanently. I know, Molly. I know, Miss Tina. Welcome. Good to see you. Oh my God, you guys remember MySpace? I thought MySpace was so cool. I had my whole thing set up with my backgrounds and my music playing, and it was really the coolest thing. And then it was like overnight. The next day, I was sitting there messing with my MySpace, and then one day, like a day later, it seems like after that I was doing all that, there's Facebook, and I'm there. You got to get on Facebook. You got to check out Facebook. What's going on with Facebook? I never went back to MySpace. I think I did go back a year or 2 later, and it was still there. It wasn't like it was when I left it, but it was still there. So, but it was really cool with your backgrounds and how you could set it up. It kind of like it spoke on who you were as a person. It gave you could design it to your personality, which I thought was so very cool. Because I had my type of music playing with a pretty wild background, and it had my little things there for my likes and different things, and it was really neat, I thought. So, and then this here, or Facebook just erased it like it never existed. Sarge's channel name, Rocky, is how do you spell it, Clue? I can't remember how he spelled it. I've never looked at it. The Yah News Network, which is YAH News Network, which means your ass hurts news network, for those of you that were curious. Just if you type in Sergeant Friday, that usually pops up for me, and it should take you right to it. And you can't miss it when you see it. Social Network. It was a good movie. Good movie. Very good movie. Well, we got 101 peeps in here. We got 75 likes. Let's work on that, guys. And I will get some stuff up and going. You guys have waited long enough. I think we got most of who we're going to have tonight. The stragglers that can pop in, that'll be fine. Again, moderators, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Again, I wouldn't, and couldn't do this without you. So thank you so much for being here. Again. All right, there's that. Rachel Rage, welcome. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. There's the link for Sarge's right there, dude. Thank you, Doodle. And guys, check it out. If you're into hearing about the chaos that goes on social media, you're gonna get it there. And he has a way of putting it. So check it out, guys. Check it out. Yes, it did. That's fact, Rachel. I forgot you had to do that kind of stuff. And I couldn't do it right now. If you put it in front of me, there's no way. I completely lost track of all of that. Pretty crazy. Let's see here. By the way, for those of you that may be interested, I'm thinking about Friday is Paranormal Fridays. Friday. Okay. Tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday will be Paranormal Friday. Friday night, I've had a couple requests actually, that some people want to do a music night. So if anybody's interested, tune in Friday night. We are going to have a music night. My son will be joining me as always. You guys, that if you attend it, you may get a little treat. He plans on possibly playing his guitar, my guitar, and singing. So if you're into hearing that, jump in and listen, guys. It'll be entertaining, that's for sure. He's gotten quite a bit better at that stuff. He wrote his own song. He's learned. Jesus, Cluminati and Cletus heard him today. He picked up a song that he learned in 4 hours and played it. I'm just like, what are you doing, Mr. Prodigy? And he sounds amazing. So I got to work on his pitch for his voice, but yeah, he's doing great. Okay, we can do that. We got a couple days yet, Brandy, but I can remember the song. Let's see here. Oh, that's awesome, Victoria. That is so very awesome. That's beautiful. I love hearing things like that. Oh yeah, he's really good, Allison. And even better when he's playing the guitar while he's singing. It's pretty good. He's really expanded his horizons over the past couple months, guys. It's honestly crazy. Carl Ferguson, welcome. Good to meet you. Or good to have you here. Sorry. I was reading what you said and put that out with what I was saying. So there's a video, guys, and within the update realm of Sebastian. I have some issues with it, but it's still an update. We're going to review it. Oh, he can sing, Brandy. I've heard Matthew sing, and he sounds absolutely fine the way he does. So you don't worry about that whatsoever. You leave that boy alone. That's our buddy in here. So we're going to review this Nancy Grease video. I know you guys have seen this, I'm sure. I have some things I'd like to kind of pick out of it and look at. So That's my thing. Welcome, Wanda. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is really one of the only updates within Sebastian's case. So, oh yeah, we have a few guitars here, Rocky. Quite a few actually. Him and another friend of mine want me to pick up an electronic drum set, which they're big time money. I just can't do it. Yes, Gray. I said Nancy Grease. We're gonna watch Nancy Grease. See, get her, Sherry, get her. She said, "You leave my baby alone, or you'll get fined." That's great. Yeah, we love Matthew in here. He's our buddy. We all love him. You better stop being a lumook, Miss Brandy. My daughter, my oldest child, just had her 31st birthday. I can't believe these kids are at these ages. It's crazy. Welcome, Doc. Draw Latina. Welcome back. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'll put it on a little bit faster, Wanda, because I want to talk about some of these things. Welcome, Mr. Bobby. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. No, you are definitely not the only one, my friend. There's a lot of people. I have them myself, but there's some things in this that we need to look into. I agree. Yeah, my oldest child is 30, just turned 31. My other daughter is 30. My twins are both 28. My oldest son is 29. And then my other child is also 28. And then Mr. Caden here will be 18 on the 17th of this month. I got a house full. I mean, they're not here now, but I had a house full when I was younger. Party of 5, welcome. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And that's what I want to talk about. Amongst a couple other things that really bother me about this right now. Oh, I'm definitely having commentary, Faith. I'm irritated with this in a lot of ways. So we all know that photograph, very sadly and unfortunately, is not Sebastian. Okay, we absolutely know that. Welcome, Andy. It's wonderful to see you tonight, dear, and we can talk about a little bit of that stuff. Yes, Jenny Phillips. Thank you. So we're gonna and let's try to be nice here if we can. As far as the parents, remember, I don't like to do that if we can help ourselves. That's all I'm saying. So, there's some things that have been put out today that I was very upset about. First off, it is heartbreaking to know that photograph is not him, because that puts things in a different perspective, unfortunately. So there's that. When I was live this afternoon, somebody came in and told me to go check a link out for another creator, and I did. That creator put out a video that said exactly how I'm going to say this too. Sebastian Rogers remains found in retainer pond. My stomach dropped out of my body. Okay. And I went, what? And I went directly to that right in the middle of my interview with Miss Barbara. I felt so bad, but my mind detached from what I was doing. And thank God Clue came in and said, it's fake, Dago. It's not real. And I was just like so appalled. It was 1,000,000% clickbait. The way that it was titled was as if my title says here, Sebastian Rogers updates. Okay. That's how that was put. And it was 100% clickbait. You can't do something like that in this case or cases like this. It's sickening to me. I'm sorry. I have no personal issues with that creator. I'm not going to put their name out. But it's sickening to me. That blew my mind. I'm so highly irritated about that. Imagine the parents seeing something like that and going, what? They know that they should be contacted, but still, they don't need to see something like that, okay? And it really, I'm sorry to say it this way, but it pissed me off to no end. I'm still pissed. That's why I'm talking about it. So, That was another thing. There's other things that have been said all over the internet in the past couple days. I'm really over this, you guys. Really, really, I am. Which is why I'm talking about it. And I can't understand. I can't believe that these people sleep. I can't believe they sleep at night. I can't believe they sleep at night. The morality is not there. There's no compassion. Just general dignity and compassion for people and their feelings makes no sense to me. Thank you. That's my point. How could you be so insensitive to the family members to do something like that? Well, again, one of the things that Sarge was going off about tonight, I'm very highly against it as well. There's another creator out there. Again, I'm not going to say the name, but you guys will know this immediately. A lot of you guys were already over there. That they sell soap. They put Katie's name on a bar of soap, and they're selling it now. And it's in a derogatory way. The title of this, the name of the soap, is a derogatory thing. Why is this happening to these people? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, Salty. It's okay, Clue. Take it. We're not going anywhere for a while, so you're fine. And I couldn't believe that, you guys. I couldn't believe it, but it's true. Clue brought it in at the beginning of his show and said, "You guys don't believe this, but look," and showed it's there. He makes soap and he sells it, and it's right there. I can't remember the exact name, but it's like "Come Clean, Katie," and it's some kind of natural berries or something. So, but are you kidding me? This is not a joke. Just now. Okay. Where did you see it at? Salty, where's it at? Unless you just want to drop a link, hon. If that's the case, we can look at that real quick. It's a he, yes, Allison. That's my thought too, Doodle. I just can't believe that there's people are so insensitive to do something like that. Okay, is it something that I can go back that's still there or no? I agree, Evie, I do. There's too many things out here, guys, that are just so disgustingly insensitive, and I'm sick of it. Oh, okay. All right, hold on a minute then. Let me get the phone line up, and then we will watch Nancy Grease here after the fact. Here, give me a second to pull this up, Salty. I'm sorry. Where'd it go? Yeah, that's an understatement there, Rocky. The bar is so low. It doesn't even count anymore. I agree with Cletus. He said that he feels like we need a purge. There is no compassion anymore. All right, and give me a second, Salty, and I'll throw the number up here. We'll do this first, and then we'll roll on the other. 234-703-4047 is the number. Go ahead and give us a call, Miss Salty. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. Nobody seems to care anymore. Nobody has any compassion for anybody's feelings. It just I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah, take your time, Salty. It's fine. Giant smudge bath. Yeah, it's a good point, Allison. It is a good point. Just like the Elizabeth Smart's disappearance, Nancy blamed the parents. They went through a living hell. Their life was threatened, and she was taken from her bed too. Poor girl went through hell. Agreed. Agreed. This case is a lot like the Elizabeth Smart case, in my opinion. It really is. Straight talker. I don't think so after everything that's been alleged. Yeah. Agreed. Carl Ferguson in the house. Good to see you, Carl. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, here we go.
Call from
Salty.
Hello, hello. You're live with the Dago. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm pretty good.
Good.
Um,
Good to hear you.
hey, so a little bit ago, I was just trolling around social media as I do sometimes, and there was this lady that I don't really know because I don't fool around TikTok much, even though
Yeah.
I have an account there. It's weird. I don't go there a lot. But anyway, she was saying that Tony was going to be there joining her live, the spokesman for Seth, and I thought, well,
Okay.
I'm going to listen because I'm not happy right now after what I heard from Nancy Grace because I
Mm-hmm.
have a screen record of what he thinks has been removed. I have it. I just haven't put it out there because I felt some kind of way about it.
Right.
And so I'm listening to it, and he comes on, and I have the recording of this too, and he stated that. So apparently Seth got upset because he got asked that question, or he didn't get asked the question. What happened was he was like in the background at this point, and she was talking to the polygrapher who gave the test, and he specifically asked Seth a question. Seth gave his answer, and it was horrible. And they shouldn't have said it. They shouldn't have did it, regardless of what you personally think it shouldn't have been done. Especially since they've come out and said, we want to make peace, we're going to work together, blah, blah, blah. It's about Sebastian.
Right.
So done with drama. And so I thought, well, and I kind of, the more I listened to him and what he explained, he's got Seth nailed. Seth is what Seth is. Seth is a worried, scared father
Mm-hmm.
who really had no clue what happened. So he began to let his mind go there, as parents will do. And I don't care what any of y'all say, if you're a parent, you're going to let your mind's going to go there.
I can agree with that.
Well, I had my neighbor's child at my house a dozen times spending the night.
Mm-hmm.
Never had an incident, never had a problem.
Right.
My child goes to her house one night. It's across the street.
Mm-hmm.
6 a.m., she's calling my phone, asking me if I know where my daughter is.
Oh.
Excuse me, bitch, she spent the night at your house. I flew out my front door, across the street, into her house, never stopping, straight to the bedroom. And when I got there and stood at that door and realized that room was empty, I hope that's a feeling nobody ever has to experience.
Agreed.
Luckily, we found both of those girls within a 45-minute time span. The entire neighborhood and the police were out there. And we found them.
Mm-hmm.
So safe and sound. But fast forward a few years, that same little girl who was 12 at the time passed away unexpectedly of a medical problem at the age of 16.
Right.
So I've lost. So these parents go through all kind of shit. We can't pretend to say we know what they're feeling. I don't even know. I know where mine's at, right?
Yes.
I don't live with that not knowing. So there is a difference, and I totally understand it. But when he said that, when they said that, 'cause Seth didn't say it on the show, that guy said it. And so Tony's like, I'm pissed, and he apparently confronted Nancy Grace about it, and there was a text exchange between him and a producer, and they apologized, and then Nancy allegedly said they were going to edit that out and they didn't. And then now he says that the audio has been removed, but I haven't went to verify that. I don't know if it's still up or not. It probably is. I mean, I'm not the only one smart enough to screen record everything.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were going to review that actually tonight. So,
I guess it's still up there for you to do. It is, because as soon as the polygrapher guy said it, I just, my stomach turned. I'm going to be not for Katie so much, not for Seth. It did for Katie, because I don't know what that woman did or didn't do. I wasn't there.
Right.
I don't live with Chris Proudfoot. I don't got to deal with an ex like Seth. I don't know those people, and I know family dynamics can get sideways, right?
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about any of them. But to sit there and say that and continuously, but you also now remind you, during the same show, it started out with Seth believes that is Sebastian in that picture in North Carolina.
Yeah, right.
And in the same show, they say, no, his theory is this is what happened to Sebastian. By the time that show was over, we have a statement now saying that is not Sebastian in that photo. And here comes Tony again and trying to save the day. And I'm like, well, here we are back to square one.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to get pissed off with law enforcement, because don't we get it? You want to keep shit close to the vest, blah, blah, blah. We got you. But no, it's time for a change.
I agree.
Time to hire somebody professionally that can deal with social media and our loads of questions, because we got them.
Absolutely.
Don't come out hot and heavy screaming you need our help and want our help.
Thank you.
We offer it. We send you tips. We give you the platforms. We get the word out. Then you're done with us.
That's right.
We're
Amen.
all still looking for a little boy. Instead, we're handed a pile of shit by these adults. And I'm still looking for this little boy every night.
Yep.
That's why I'm kind of ranting at the same time. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to rant. I really didn't. But
you're saying
I'm irritated.
You're saying the things out loud that I've been thinking for weeks now, because I agree with you. Law enforcement has to do their job, and they do need to hold things to their chest. But the first thing they said to us, social media, is we need your help. Can you help us find this child? Absolutely. Here we are. I've been talking about it.
Of course we can.
Yes.
Look, we all know for years now, okay, a lot of us are done with mainstream media. A lot of America gets done with it. They get their news from their social media apps in whatever form they choose. So here we are. It's up to us, like you say, what Clue's been saying. It is up to us what we put out there.
Yeah.
Dago, you and I have had this conversation. There's stuff we've had, we talk about. You know, is it right to even do it at this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if they were named in a bunch of court documents, still, is it? Or they weren't arrested. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely right.
It's that line we have to learn to walk as we go. But we know right from wrong, and we know that something's got to give in this case in a major way.
Yeah, because it's been we're 2 and some odd months in to okay. We need something out here to either help us, either tell us it's going to go this way or it's going to go that way. You got to give something. You got to give something,
well,
because it's
know, when you do, and even like when Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
There wasn't a security camera at that house, even though it was a expensive home, but they lived in Salt Lake City, Utah. Everything's expensive, kind of like where Katie and Chris live.
Right.
It's going to be expensive. So there wasn't, and if social media, it was more than it is now, but I mean, not like it is now, but it was there a little. But Nancy Grace didn't let that story go either. I watched it from the day that child disappeared, and I was at work when my ex-husband called to say they found her, and I was floored. I was so invested in that case, and her father was torn apart by mainstream media. He was outed as being a gay man in the end, which he was, but at the time he was married Mormon with 5 children. But really, he was secretly gay. But that all ended up, every closet in that man, every skeleton in his closet came tumbling out. There was another man that was an SO, and he was heavily looked into. His property was searched. His property was dug up. It was a big thing. Even when the authorities finally cleared that man, people didn't leave him alone.
Right.
They continued to harass him and do things to him until he unalived himself. And that was all just on Elizabeth Smart's case. And the whole time, the guy that had her worked for the family, come in, took her, threatened the little sister, I'll kill you too. I'll come back and kill all of you. And she couldn't remember who he was.
Right.
She didn't for months. It took her months to recall who that man was.
Yes.
And then when she finally did, that was their big break in the case. And that was the guy that was walking around town, covered head to toe, and had her right there, hidden in plain sight for 9 solid months.
Yes. Which is insane, but it relates. It can relate to this case in a lot of ways too, if you look at that. And it's made, when you brought that to my attention 2 months ago, truly, it made me go, that's kind of interesting, because we've seen nothing of this child, nothing, anywhere, nothing. And it made me go, is he right in front of us and we don't see him? I had to think that. I still think that way, because I refuse to believe that he's not with us anymore. I can't. I can't swallow that. I just can't. So, I mean, I'm hard
to try that. It's hard, and there's only a couple of options.
Right, and I'm a realist, and I'm based in reality. I get it. It's there. It's right here. I'm just not accepting it yet. Okay, until I absolutely have to, is all I'm saying. So,
well, in my mind, either way is. I know people want to believe in their hearts people are good.
Well,
if someone has Sebastian and they are purposefully keeping that a secret, they don't have his best intentions at heart.
There's nothing good about that at all. Right.
No. And that worries me. And I hope they have eyes on those people.
Yes.
I make a mistake.
I agree. I deeply agree with you.
It wouldn't take much for somebody close by to form a relationship with a kid that jollies around the neighborhood sometimes.
It's looking for friends. Agreed. Yes. Absolutely.
For a scent to stop dead in its tracks near the pond, where we all know that means he got into a car, more than likely.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
You got to look at all the options. I don't like getting tunnel vision, but I got to figure out what the hell happened. And I only have 2 options that went down that night.
That's absolutely correct. And there's certain things, you guys, that we cannot just say didn't happen. Okay. We sat and listened to for probably a total of 3 days, maybe 4, the audio that exists that we heard, whether they claim it to be something or not. It's there. It says something. It's proof. Okay. I can't let that go. I've not been able to say, no, we're putting that off for here because it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean anything. I can't do that. Okay. So I take that into account with everything I'm thinking about. Something about that is it involves what happened. That's all I can say. So,
well, these damn cameras, I'm so sick of cameras didn't see nothing. If the camera did see something, a direction, a car,
anything
could be in this year range, whatever, at least that's a lead that we could look for.
Right. Yes.
Okay. It's something little, but it's to the point where, like, even with this photo, I really sat there for a couple of days. And I didn't put that photo out or even report it as a possible sighting, because I was going to give law enforcement the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
They didn't do their job. They did their job. Don't get me wrong. They did. If they did this, come on, we're talking about the FBI, Secret Service, all these people. It does not take them that long to vet a picture. 1,000 people can sit around and blow that image up and say, well, it looks this way, that shadow this way. None of y'all's experts. We all tried. We don't know if it is or isn't. They knew.
Mm-hmm.
They were already on that photo. They were already trying to figure out who the hell it was, where they were, where they went, everything about it. They didn't come out in time and say anything about it.
And that's
and
what.
why allow the father of the child to go around and
Yes.
publicly believe that's his child if you are almost there to know better? You know what I mean?
And like I said today, I was talking to Clue today. I said, when I read that post from the sheriff about that photo, something inside me dropped. Okay, because I think we all, looking at that photo, kind of had a bit of hope at that point, a little more hope than we had. And I when I read that, I just sat here and I kind of sighed. My wife said, "What's the matter?" She could see it. Okay, and I showed her, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, hon." And I said, I mean, I had to know that this is a possibility, but that's how close we are to this case. And what you saying that something needs to drop. They need to step up and say, "Okay, guys, here's the deal. This is what we have. This is what we're working with. Period." Okay. Because this is what has happened, and this is imagine that I said that today too. I can only imagine how these parents feel after hearing that, because it gave them hope too, you guys. It gave them real hope.
Well, it's a messed up line, because here's the thing: if you got my child getting into a car on a video, say the ring camera did catch a glimpse of a car that went down, was it Keller, whatever it's called, went down there, whatever, to the back to the pond, same car comes back out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the car did back there because we can't see it. Sound familiar?
Yes.
We know it came and went. So, and we also know that we saw an image of a boy or someone walking. Now, if I'm a parent and if I can kind of make out that car, I'm going to be looking for every car that kind of looks like that car.
Mm-hmm.
And when I find that car, I can't promise you I'm not going to get out and go to the damn door.
100%.
They don't need that happening either. Do you know what I mean? So,
I agree.
I mean, if you're not going to tell us, fine, whatever, go tell the parents. You ain't got to tell them everything. Tell them something to rein the bullshit.
Exactly. So that these things aren't put out there and the whole world's not sitting here going, "Okay, I think we got him, and let's see what happens." And then we had to wait a week to get any kind of an answer on this photograph, and then it comes back to be a negative answer, which I think was ridiculous, because I can promise you.
Tony said he was going to start putting the pressure on law enforcement today, and I don't know this guy from Adam, so I don't know nothing. I'm not like giving this man props. I don't know him like that.
Right.
I know of him now because he's apparently the Caleb Harris people's rep as well.
Yeah.
Now he's doing this for Seth, so we'll see. But we'll see. I don't know. Put pressure on law enforcement. I say it's time to do that, because if they have claimed they have searched 2,000 acres and they've done all of these things, I really want to see the maps now of those areas. Not that I don't believe you, but just for me, my brain, the way it works, I want to see a map of where you went.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you looked for.
Absolutely.
Those caves bother me. I know boys. I'm a boy mom.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by state forests.
Right.
I know how to get down in the woods. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The caves bother me. And I saw an interview with one of the guys that works for the emergency management up there. And Clue and Cletus know way more about that terrain than I do. I lived outside of Johnson City, Tennessee for like a year, but I'm a Florida girl through and through. I had to get back to Flatland.
Yes.
So, but I know that it's very hilly and mountainous. I was surrounded by these mountains. It's like I couldn't breathe. So, but those things worry me, because a boy could venture into that. Even I've read so many times, one of the main things we keep hearing about Sebastian is loved cats. What if he's in his bedroom, and out the window he's hearing a meow, because I hear it outside of mine when my cat's out there.
Yep.
I look out, there's the cat. This kid looks out, he sees that cat again. He goes out that front door barefooted and runs after that cat, all the way down the street back toward the pond. Did a weirdo happen to be coming down the road near that time? Was it daylight? Was it middle? We don't even know what time it would have been.
Crime of
We don't even have a
opportunity.
concrete time. Right, it would have to, right, but then I got to ask myself, well, they probably are on the prowl in the middle of the night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
I
mean,
don't.
they can't, if you're going to do something like this, you're going to go out when you're not going to be seen, when it's quiet, when nobody's out, the whole world's not out looking at you. Very possibly could have just been driving around, and it's a crime of opportunity, in my opinion. And I was like, well, okay, that makes sense if he walked out of the house and so on and so forth,
Yeah, because he just
so.
didn't. Okay, but he had a phone, right? I know he had the switch.
Yeah.
They said he had no way to get on the internet. Well, my sister's daughter, she's very high functioning autistic, I guess you could say. We had to watch her.
Yeah.
You could give her a device and think that thing is locked down, but little Miss Thing is going to figure out how to get on there. And within minutes, she would have her an account set up somewhere, some way, and try to pretend she didn't. And I'd catch her every time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It was a fight with her to keep her off of social media because we knew it wasn't good for her.
It's the same thing I went through with Caden, and I showed, everybody said that it was stated that he had a switch that you can't get on the line with it. That's not true.
Yeah,
I showed how you can do it. I found it. I showed it. It's passable. So,
my kid is 17. He's had a Switch for years. My grandson is 8. He has a Nintendo Switch. I'm all over these devices. I stay on top of that crap. I have talks with these kids and my grandkids about stranger danger and internet danger and things of that nature. And what are your capabilities on that device we just handed you?
Yeah.
Because you have to know these things. And that doesn't, Katie could have done everything right and he still communicated with somebody somehow. But if he did communicate with somebody, even through a phone call or text, and he left that phone at home that night, it's going to be on that phone.
Yeah.
Law enforcement has that phone.
Yes.
So they know if he communicated with anybody via that device.
Absolutely. And like I said, too, this could have been something that he was doing more. He could have been sneaking out at night to go see animals or whatever, because he doesn't sleep. Okay. I know this because my child doesn't sleep either. So when I heard that about him, I said, oh, wow, I can relate. I know what that's all about. And if he, this could have been something that happened 4 or 5 times.
That's funny you say that. I watch Michelle Walks a lot. Michelle After Dark.
Right.
And she was talking about that over a week ago, that when she was younger, didn't matter what time of day or night it was, something went down at home or she was uncomfortable, whatever, she would go for a walk.
Yeah.
And it would a lot of times be during the nighttime hours. And she's like, was it smart? No. But did I do it? Yes. And I thought, well, not all kids are afraid to walk out that door.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, we know for a fact that, because we've looked into it, there are a few RSOs that live around that neighborhood very close.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody's out and about and sees this child out, possibly walking through the neighborhood by himself.
Just one across the highway down the road.
Right. I mean, it's a target.
And he's a child offender. He's not, this is a violent child offender.
Yes, yes.
I know who he is, and I know where he's at. I just wish I could go drive down that street more often.
Right.
Believe me,
I get
Believe me, if I lived in that area, my ass would have to get me never mind.
I get it. Yeah. I do. I understand. I think the same way. Yes. And here's the thing, folks. This person, the opportunity is what it is. The opportunity is opportunity. If somebody was even just out, this type of a person that was going to or from a store or to get food, or they're coming home from somewhere, and you see this child, it's a target. Boom. That mindset goes into effect immediately. That's all it takes. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes. 1 second. That's it.
Yeah, and if you go back and look at some of the not just child predators and things like that, even with serial killers and things of that nature, a lot of times crime of opportunity is what happens.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's very, very planned and methodical, all that good stuff. Sometimes it's totally random.
Opportune. That's it. And it's just like as I was talking about in the beginning of this, about autistic children have triggers and things like that. These people have triggers of their own. All they have to do is see something that triggers that mindset, and they're often running. Okay, and that's the problem. We don't know. There is no answer that we can put out there
And
to our question for
yeah,
that.
and I encourage all of you, whatever your state is, it has a database. You can go sign up for it. It's free. You go put your email in, and they will email you all of the offenders in your area that are registered, and they'll show you on the map where they're at.
Yeah,
They'll show you all of their offenses. It gives you peace of mind. You know, you'll be surprised if you pull up your own address
mm-hmm.
and see how many are close to your house.
Absolutely. I've used it myself.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, I
Well,
use it all the time,
absolutely.
and so it's a good tool to use. You know, for Florida, it's FDLE.com, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Tennessee is with, I think TBI.com has a link on their page.
They do,
of theirs
and
as well.
so does OSBI as well. We have one. That's what we use. That actually,
Yeah.
anytime we have moved into a different area, my wife demands that we, especially with him, and his issues that he had. He was very trusting when he was younger. He would say hi to everybody. He
Yeah.
wanted to be everybody's friend, and she said no. And we looked it up, and we found who was who, and we pinpointed it, and watched it. We watched it. We found out there was one living across the street from us. Thank God he ended up
you
going
can
back
get
to jail.
alerts as well. You can get an alert when one moves in, I think, to your neighborhood.
Yep.
If there's a particular one that you want to keep track of for any reason, I believe you can sign up for FDLE. You can sign up for alerts on particular offenders. Say you know somebody, or you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Yes.
You can keep track of things that are happening, but it's important to know your surroundings, especially your own neighborhood. Especially if you have kids, playing in the yard, whatever,
Absolutely.
you never know.
Yes. I agree. I do agree. It's a very good tool, because it's scary nowadays, guys. It's very scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump down.
Absolutely, and thank you for calling in, Salty. I always appreciate your insight and your feelings on these things. So thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. You guys enjoy the rest of the show.
You too. Have a great night, honey. Again, welcome, Southern Gal. Thank you for joining us, and a few others that popped in here. I appreciate you very much as well. And these are things that could be, guys. He very well could be. One of the things I've thought, and I've told you this, is that somebody has him, because I've never been able to feel like he's not with us anymore. So I feel that he's with somebody, good or bad. It's obviously not a good person, or they would have came forward, based on what they think it's good. That person, okay, they may feel that they're helping him somehow, or that they're doing something for the good of him. But that's not the way it is. In reality, it's not something they should be doing. Is all I'm saying. So, there's that as well. So there's a few. What's up, Truth? There's a few options out there, guys. We've been round and round and round about this. So law enforcement does not have to tell us anything. They don't owe us anything. We know that, okay? But because they asked us for our help, okay, it would be nice, I'm saying, and I agree with her on that, if they did give us throw a bone to us every now and again to keep us, I can't even know the right word I'm trying to think of, but to kind of keep us okay with the situation and understanding of what's going on, I should say. It might be for lack of better terms, but still. Now we're going to review this, as much as I'm not happy about the things I know about it already. Welcome, Pamela. Kim, thank you for joining us. I do believe he does, Kim. And if anybody's out there that I didn't see, my apologies. Thank you for joining us. Please hit that like button on your way through the door. In that aspect, yes, Pebbles. I see. It's hard to explain how I'm trying to say it, but in that aspect, yes, I agree with you on that. But based on their rules and the way things run is what I'm saying. Um, is all I mean. Absolutely, Southern Gal. I hope you enjoy your time here and would want to come back, obviously. So, Lightning Sal, good to see you. See, that's the thing. I agree with you on that. Sal says, I have an intuitive feeling that he's alive. I might be wrong. I think he's at someone's house and he's okay. My gut feeling. And I felt that way. Honestly, Sal, and a lot of you guys know this, I felt that way from the beginning. Now, and I used another case that I followed as an example. When we covered the Quentin Simon case, the moment I turned that on and I looked at it, I knew that child was gone. Okay, period. I knew he was gone. And there was nothing you could do to make me think any different, even though I tried to. I tried to be positive, as I always do, but I knew in my mind and in my gut that that child was no longer with us. Now, in this case, I have not felt that feeling, but I have had to make myself believe that there is a reality out there that he may not be with us any longer. Okay, it's just something I have to be. I live in reality, and I had to put that in my mind and say, hey, in the end of this, as close as I am to this, me emotionally, okay, I'll put it that way. I had to say, okay, listen, Joe, there's a chance that that's not true, okay, and you need to prepare yourself for this. I'm not crazy. I'm just telling you how I talk to myself in my mind. Um, yes, I know, Sherry. It was horrible. It was horrible. Um, so at that point, I have to give myself that to to bank on in just in case, but in reality, my feeling is that he's with us and I haven't been able to process any other emotion but that. So that's where and that's why I said when the sheriff made the statement that that is not him in that photo, I could feel my insides drop. Literally drop, guys. It was a huge like emotional letdown. So that's when I had to go back to that and say, okay, here we are. We're back at square one because that photograph gave the whole world hope. And the thing that really bugged me about that was that now I had to imagine these parents, because I know they had help, they had hope as well. They did. Okay. So I had to imagine these parents going, oh my God, so it wasn't him. That's sad, folks. That's horrible that they have to go back to that feeling again where they possibly had that hope that it was. And I can't imagine that pain to have to go through the initial pain and then relive that again. It's just it's not good. So that's my thought. Um uh I understand. That's how my neighbor's like that too. And he comes over and I just sit and talk to him. But I get what you're saying, Clue. That's sweet of you to do that though. Just can't help yourself to I can't at least to do that. Yeah, his family, he's 82 years old. His family does not pay any attention to him. They don't care. They just like they forgot about him. You know what I mean? That's horrible. I'm sorry. Nobody should. So we've kind of adopted him as like a grandfather type thing. The kids love him, and he comes over for holidays and stuff. It's just horrific. So I do the same thing. I get it. Yeah, exactly, Marie. It's a never-ending nightmare. Absolutely. Okay, guys. I'm not even prepared for this, but we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna speed it up a little and throw these subtitles on, and hopefully this goes by quick because she just aggravates me. And I know I'm going to be pissed off about this after it's over. So here we go. And let me know if I need to adjust anything. Oh, hold on. Where the hell's the volume at? 1 second. What did I do already? Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Polygraph tonight. Where is missing autistic boy Sebastian? Of missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers at a Blue Ridge Mountains rest stop. Sebastian's dad.
Thank you for joining us in the community, Kara. I appreciate you, and I hope you appreciate the community as much, very much, and welcome very much. Exactly, Andy. Exactly. I do believe that's what it had to be. No problem, Clue. No problem.
Seth tells us it's him. And with us tonight, live, Dad Seth Rogers to address that polygraph. Tonight, where is missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
A woman rushing to meet family at the Visitor Center in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina takes a photo of the area and the people hanging around. When she takes a closer look at the photo later, she realizes that a boy in the photo bears a striking resemblance to Sebastian Rogers and contacts authorities. Investigators have been trying to locate the person in the photo. The sheriff's office confirms that they have reached out to North Carolina authorities about the picture, but so far, nothing credible has resulted from their inquiries.
Tonight, a mysterious update in the search for a missing autistic boy as a woman shares a photo of a little boy bearing an uncanny resemblance to missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers. Take a look at it. Joining us, an all-star panel to make sense of what we are hearing. But first, I want to go straight out to Sebastian's father joining us, Seth Rogers. You can find him at #SebastianStrong. Seth, thank you for being with us. Seth, I was stunned when I saw the side-by-side of Sebastian and the boy spotted at the guest center. What do you make of it? And I'd like to see that side-by-side if possible. Go ahead, Seth.
When I saw the picture, I turned around and loaded up the vehicle and off to North Carolina I went.
Lauren Conlon is joining us, investigative journalist and host of the Outlier podcast. Lauren, thank you for being with us. What can you tell me about the sighting? Because the authorities are not saying it's not him. They are saying, quote, nothing credible is pointing to the sighting of Sebastian. In other words, they haven't been able to confirm it yet. Remember, this is like a rest stop, a tourist center. People are visiting there that could live in any of the surrounding states.
Absolutely, Nancy. And I think what's important to note here is that North Carolina authorities have not identified the boy in the photo. So as of right now, it's still considered a potential lead.
Guys, joining us is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad, and Lauren Conlon, host of Outlier podcast. Seth, tell me what went through your mind when you first saw this photo. And when you compare them side by side, it's really uncanny.
My son's alive. Then he looks good in the picture. I mean, he's got clothes on, he's got shoes on.
Do you recognize the clothes?
No, I don't.
How about the shoes?
Don't recognize those either. They look brand new.
How far away? Yes, they do. In fact, the clothes look new as well. How far away, in your estimation, Seth, is this rest stop tourist attraction area from Sebastian's home?
It's about 6 hours, give or take, with traffic.
How did you become aware of the sighting, the alleged sighting?
People started calling me and asking me about the picture, and then people turned around and started sending me the picture.
And again, what went through your mind when you first saw it?
I gotta go. I gotta go up there. I gotta see. I mean, the picture's there. I wanted to go see the footage because I figured there'd be some type of surveillance.
And did you go?
I did. I drove up to North Carolina.
You took the 6-hour plus ride to North Carolina to investigate this photo. And what, if anything, did you learn when you got there?
That I wasn't allowed to see the video footage.
Why?
But I was told it's an active investigation, so I'm not allowed to see it.
Who told you that, Seth?
People at the park.
It's my understanding the woman who took the picture was also convinced that this looked exactly like Sebastian and handed it over to the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and then later it was posted online. Is that your understanding, Seth?
Yes, ma'am.
Seth, when you saw this picture, how did it make you feel?
Gave me hope. It rekindled what hope I was losing.
Seth, I'm looking at the way the boy is standing in this photo. I know you've looked at it a million times. He's got his right arm somewhat over his stomach. And I'm wondering, does this pose look familiar to you?
By the looks of it, he's stepping down off the rocks and stuff. He's looking at where he's going.
Yeah.
But he's also been missing for 2 months. So his demeanor and everything could possibly have shifted.
In what way? Why do you say that?
I haven't heard from my son in 2.5 months. You know, if he doesn't have a phone with him, you know, he hasn't heard from me. If somebody convinced him to go away and won't give him a phone, I don't know.
Let me ask you, Seth, is it correct that your PI that you had to hire, which is a whole nother can of worms, spoke to the person that took the photo?
No. My other PI, Chloe, she's the one that spoke with him.
I couldn't hear you. What?
The other PI on the case, she's the one that spoke with him.
So a PI on the case did speak with the photographer, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did the PI learn?
When she took the picture and why she didn't call 911 immediately, and what she did when she reviewed the picture, and the fact that she asked why she put it on social media, and it was because she stated that it was because TBI didn't get back with her after she had submitted it.
What else did you learn? Why did she decide to take the picture? And what else could she tell you through the PI about who this boy was with? What was he doing?
Nothing.
Was he crying? Did he look hungry? Was he with a man or a woman?
The individual that took the picture, it was actually her husband that took the picture because he was faster with his phone than she was. And they were driving by and he took the picture. And then when they were able to look at it, they submitted it to TBI. They didn't hear back from TBI that they had received the picture or anything else, so they put it out on social media.
Guys, you are seeing the photo we're talking about. To Lauren Conlon joining us. Lauren, exactly where is this rest stop or tourist attraction?
So it's in North Carolina. It is the Blue Ridge Mountains Visitor Center. And like Seth said, Sebastian did not appear to be in this photo. And I think all of us are very hopeful. And I think it's amazing that Seth went to North Carolina and drove 5 hours.
What exactly, which part are you talking about, Gray? Do I need to back up a little bit? Let me play that again, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what you meant.
You are seeing the photo we're talking about. To Lauren Conlon joining us. Lauren, exactly where is this rest stop or tourist attraction?
So it's in North Carolina.
What she did when she reviewed the picture, and the fact that she asked why she put it on social media, and it was because she stated that it was because TBI didn't get back with her after she had submitted it.
What else did you learn? Why did she decide to take the picture? And what else could she tell you through the PI about who this boy was with? What was he doing?
Nothing.
Was he crying? Did he look hungry? Was he with a man or a woman?
The individual that took the picture, it was actually her husband that took the picture because he was faster with his phone than she was. And they were driving by and he took the picture. And then when they were able to look at it, they submitted it to TBI. They didn't hear back from TBI that they had received the picture or anything else, so they put it out on social media.
Guys, you are seeing the photo we're talking about. To Lauren Conlon joining us. Lauren, exactly where is this rest stop or tourist attraction?
So it's in North Carolina. It is the Blue Ridge Mountains Visitor Center. And like Seth said, Sebastian did not appear to be in this photo. And I think all of us are very hopeful. And I think it's amazing that Seth went to North Carolina and drove 5 hours from Tennessee.
Back to Seth. Did the man or the woman see who the boy was with?
No, they said they didn't even know if they were with the group or not. They didn't know if the lady was with them.
What lady? The lady in the pink shirt?
Yeah.
Did he emerge from a car?
They just saw him as they drove through where they're at right now was like the parking lot is behind there. Right in front of there is the entrance into like the gift shop. So him being there, there's no way to see if he was getting in or out of a car right there.
So he was on his way into the gift shop, Seth?
That's the direction that he's heading.
Well, that seems to me that there should be gift shop surveillance video or at least other witnesses. So is that the surveillance video you were trying to get, Seth?
Yes, it was.
Now, we know that a statement has been issued that, quote, nothing credible is pointing to any sign of Sebastian. That's pretty vague. Nothing credible is pointing to any sign of Sebastian. That's incredibly vague. It doesn't say this picture is a hoax, this picture is a fake, this is not Sebastian. They're not saying any of that. What do you make of that response, Seth?
That they don't know what to say.
Joining me, guys, also is Irv Brandt, renowned investigator, former U.S. Marshal Service, International Investigations Branch, and author of Flying Solo, Top of the World on Amazon. Irv, thank you so much for being with us. Now, this is a conundrum. If this boy is Sebastian, the way his father thinks that it is, I mean, look at it for Pete's sake. Look at the side by side, the chin, the jawline, the nose, the hair. It's uncanny. It's at a tourist gift shop in the middle of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's a needle in a haystack. Irv Brandt, what do we do?
Nancy, the video, the picture, the way I see it, and if the father says that's his son, that's good enough for me, of course. But the investigation is going to center around trying to get anyone that was there at that time, maybe looking at video of the parking lot, running down tag numbers, trying to find other witnesses, other people that may have been shooting video and inadvertently captured his image on their video.
Yes, Bobby, that's what he just stated, is that they took the picture as they were driving by. So, yeah.
Video. I can imagine that the police are just, the investigators in this case from multiple agencies are just searching all different kinds of avenues, looking for clues. And when they make a comment like no credible evidence so far, it's basically like saying no comment on the investigation. They don't want to say either way, but I would imagine that this is a crucial piece of information to their investigation.
Well, to me, and of course, I'm just a trial lawyer, the first thing I would do is pull that surveillance video the way Seth Rogers described, and I would go in and look for every single receipt. At the time, that picture was taken, and the photographer gives us the time and the date that it was taken, every single receipt. Then I would find out if there's any surveillance video in the parking lot, find out if he went to a car, which obviously he did. What car? It's got to be on surveillance video. Agree, disagree, Irv Brandt? I mean, you're the former U.S. Marshal going all the way around the world finding people. What do you do next?
Nancy, I agree. I mean, the car is the most critical thing. If you can identify the car that he got out of, even if you don't have a tag number, the make and the model of the car would be just crucial to send out a bolo to the surrounding states, then potentially finding witnesses at that time, like you said, checking receipts in the gift shop and interviewing people that were there at the time, something that they may have seen. An autistic boy may stick out in their memory, seeing him, and they may have, looked at that person, at that boy, at the people that he was with, and if a skilled investigator asks the right questions to these people, it can lead to crucial leads in this case.
And Mr. Proudfoot, you have volunteered to take a poly?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to set up a poly for you, would you take it?
Name the place and time, ma'am. I'll be there.
We all remember that moment when I put Sebastian's father, Seth, on the hot seat on national TV and asked him, would he be willing to take a polygraph? He said yes. He did take a polygraph. Straight back out to Seth Rogers. Joining us is Sebastian's father. And now joining us is a renowned polygrapher, Kendall Schule, former head of the entire FBI Polygraph program in D.C., former special agent with the FBI in D.C. He is at Kendall Investigations. Also joining us, Tony Mathis, who is helping Seth Rogers as he walks this very, very rocky path. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is a yes, no, Kendall Schule. Did Seth Rogers pass his polygraph?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in. Let's get to the truth of that polygraph. Seth, what happened?
I showed up early for the polygraph. Mr. Kendall contacted me and told me that he'd be there well before the time that we had stated. So I showed up and I sat in the chair and let him attach those things to me and took the polygraph.
Have you ever had a polygraph before?
No, ma'am.
And what kind of questions did the polygrapher Kendall Schule ask you?
If I had ever wanted to harm anybody, if I ever wanted to hurt my son, if I'd ever hurt my son, if I'd ever had anything to do with his disappearance.
Question. You said they hooked you up. What do you mean by that, Seth Rogers?
They put things on my hands. They wrapped cords around me. They had a blood pressure cuff on me to measure my blood pressure and measure my heart rate, my breathing rate, things like that.
How long did it take?
It took a minute.
It took 60 seconds. Could you be precise or more precise? How long do you think it took?
We were there for 3 hours, 4 hours.
That's about right. It's not easy. Okay, sit tight, Seth. And again, thank you for being with us. Out to Kendall Schule, as I told you, former head of the entire FBI Polygraph program in D.C. Kendall, thank you. When we put out the word that Seth Rogers would take a polygraph, we contacted you because of your reputation. You quickly agreed, and I thank you for that. Again, this was not free. He was paid to do the polygraph. He owes nothing to anybody, and therefore was not swayed one way or the other. He had never met Seth Rogers before in his life. Mr. Schule, I've looked very carefully at your polygraph report right here. Number one, you start off by saying it was conducted using a comparison question format that meets U.S. government standards. What is a comparison question format? What is that?
It's a format that's well accepted by the polygraph community, particularly the American Polygraph Association. There are certain formats that we can use that are more acceptable, that we know are more reliable, and this was one of those. Certainly a test format that I would want to use to make sure we're doing everything right to get the correct results. And this is again a format of polygraph that is widely accepted as a standard in the FBI world and in the polygraph world in general.
Now, you also state that you used state-of-the-art Lafayette LX6, the computerized polygraph system. And I'm wondering, is that, for instance, when you get on an elevator and you see the last time it was inspected and you see the type of elevator it is, or you take a mammogram and you see the last time it was inspected and the type of equipment, machine that's being used. So you say the polygraph charts were the data was collected using state-of-the-art Lafayette LX6 computerized polygraph system. What is that? And please dummy down for me. I'm just a trial lawyer.
No, there are several companies that make polygraph equipment. The one that the FBI uses, the one that I've always used, the one that I believe is the best, is a Lafayette system. There are different versions of that polygraph equipment. It obviously is always has additions and corrections and made to it. And I started out with an LX4, I believe it was, went to a 5, And then the latest state-of-the-art equipment that Lafayette currently makes is the LX6, and of course we keep up with the proper software that's required as well. But that is the state of art. That's the best polygraph instrument, I believe, that is out there in the polygraph world.
Well, you had me at the FBI uses it. Is that what you said? This is what the
I
FBI
did.
uses?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Also, when I'm getting to the end of my technical questions, I like to lay a foundation before I get into the meat of the issue. The polygraph charts were evaluated numerically and globally. What does that mean?
That means we look at it globally to see if we see any issues with the collection of the charts, the physiology that's collected. We kind of get an idea, but the numerically means that we actually give a number to each relevant question that's asked, and we give it a plus or a minus. And there are certain scores that we believe have to be obtained in order to either pass or fail somebody or call them, no opinion. But in addition to that numerical score that I gave, there are also 2 scoring algorithms that we use that the computer has that scores the charts, that way. And therefore,
okay, hold on, Kendall Schule. When you start talking about algorithms, okay, you lost me. I said dummy down. You also said this opinion is applicable only to these questions, not to be construed as an assessment of Seth Rogers' truthfulness in other areas. That makes sense. You also state there are 3 outcomes. 1, deception indicated. 2, no opinion,
deception.
and the other is no deception indicated. Correct? 3 choices, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Now, could you tell me what was Seth Rogers' demeanor when he entered your office?
We had a great conversation. Like you said, it took a long time. We sat and talked for a long time. I collected some background information from him to make sure that he's suitable for testing. In my opinion, he was. Then
whoa, wait a minute, boss. Suitable for testing? You mean?
I am not tired at all. I'm wide awake. I napped earlier today. So no, I'm not sleeping, guys, just so you don't think I am. I just close this when I'm watching videos and stuff because sometimes I have weird facial reactions to things. That's all. Mr. Steve, welcome back. Good to see you tonight, sir. I give a polygraph exam the same weight as if I flipped a coin to decide a person's truthfulness. There you go. There you go. And if they are inadmissible in court and things like that. So, I mean, I think this polygraph was given based on drama, in my opinion, that had been going on. So, just saying. It's my opinion. It doesn't mean it's fact.
He's not drunk or high, right? Is that what that means?
Exactly. Yep. And, he wasn't in any.
Did you do the smell test? I've always wondered if polygraphers, like whenever my twins have to go somewhere on a bus or a school event, or even a plane, I always go up and speak to the driver or the pilot to just get a whiff if they've been drinking. So you assess the participant as to whether they may be drunk or high or on meds.
We do. We observe that, obviously. And, we're in close proximity to talking to each other. If he had any alcohol in his breath, I believe I would have known it, particularly when I'm attaching the components to him for the polygraph test. I'm right in his face. So, yes, I would have observed if he had any alcohol in his breath.
Mr. Schule, you conducted the polygraph, and what were the critical questions that you asked Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father?
The relevant questions, as we call them, that I asked Seth on the polygraph test to determine if he was involved in any way in this child's disappearance were, number 1, regarding doing anything to cause the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, do you plan to answer those questions truthfully? He responded, yes. I then asked him, did you do anything that could have caused that boy's disappearance who we discussed today? The answer was no. And the third question was, were you involved in any way in the disappearance of that boy who we discussed today? He responded, no.
Yes, sir.
Guys, you are hearing the former head of the FBI polygraph program, Kendall Schule, who polygraphed Sebastian Rogers' biological father, Seth. Now, before you ask these 3 questions, do you plan to answer truthfully? Did you do anything that caused Sebastian's disappearance? Were you involved in any way in the disappearance of Sebastian? Before you ask those, I assume you asked several lead-up questions to get a barometer of how the polygraph would respond to Seth Rogers, correct?
There were what we call control questions. They might be, are we in the state of Tennessee? Is today Wednesday? those sort of things. And those are the control questions that we get where we know he's telling the truth.
Seth Rogers agrees to take a polygraph exam if Nancy Gray sets it up for him. An appointment is made with an established polygrapher. Seth Rogers is asked many questions, such as, did you do anything that could have caused that boy's disappearance? And were you involved in any way in the disappearance of that boy? In both instances, Seth Rogers said no. Based on a review of the physiological responses recorded at the relevant questions during the polygraph exam, in the opinion of the examiner, Seth Rogers was truthful. No deception indicated.
With us is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological father. Also with us is the polygrapher who took the polygraph, Kendall Schewel, and Tony Mathis, who is helping Seth weave his way through this very difficult time in his life. And Mr. Schewel, let me ask you one more question. Isn't it true that you attempted a polygraph on Seth Rogers before this polygraph?
I believe we tried to set one up, but it didn't go through for some reason. That he wasn't ready to take the test.
Back to Seth Rogers. This is Sebastian's dad. Isn't it true, Seth, that you tried to take the polygraph a time before this one and it didn't work? What happened?
I was on prescribed medication for nerve. I've got a pinched nerve in my C5 and C6 that's causing pain down my right arm. So they put me on prescribed medication for dealing with the pain and trying to get it to relax.
What med was that?
It was cyclobenzaprine, which is a muscle relaxer, and gabapentin, which is a nerve blocker.
Seth, you have been the subject of so much hate online. I don't understand it. I've got a stack of printouts of what people have put on Insta and Twitter and Facebook and blah, blah. For instance, this one says, we had a meeting this evening and one of the moms, her daughter is an intern and works with Nancy Grace. She said a rumor is that Seth failed the polygraph, total fail. And now Nancy's team is doing damage control. Nancy was cussing because she was in a, quote, pissy mad mood. She told them polygraphs are not reliable. And so we have to be fair and say it's inconclusive. Nancy's team was mad. They don't like him because he was rude not long ago, and they refused to cover for him. This doesn't, we don't have an intern, but this doesn't even make any sense. We knew all along from the beginning that Kendall tried the poly, that you were on the muscle relaxers, and you volunteered to do it again. All of this is true. This is just one of hundreds of people attacking you. Why, Seth? Why?
Why do people get death threats for looking for their kid?
Kendall Schewel, again, did you find Seth Rogers to be cooperative?
I found Seth to be extremely cooperative. He did everything I asked him to do. There were absolutely no problems with the interview that we had, as well as attaching the components and getting good physiology to show that he showed no signs of deception on this polygraph. I did a numerical scoring, as we talked about before, that showed that he passed. I also ran 2 algorithms through the computer that showed that he passed. I even went a step further when I got home and had another retired FBI agent that I knew come in and do what we call a blind scoring of these charts, not knowing who it was, what it was about, whether he passed, whether he failed, and he also agreed with my opinion of no deception indicated.
Over 2 months into the search for Sebastian Rogers, a hope for a lead comes out of the town of Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Could a pair of pants found about 12 miles north of Nashville be related to Sebastian Rogers? It hasn't been disclosed where the pants were found.
In the last hour's mysterious update in the search for a missing autistic boy, Sebastian Rogers, after a woman shares a photo of a boy that is uncannily similar to Sebastian all the way up in the Smoky Mountains. This as a pair of pants, much like a pair of glasses, are taking center stage. Straight out to Lauren Collin joining us, investigative journalist, host of The Outlier. Lauren, thank you for being with us. Lauren, tell me about the pants.
Yes, so May 2nd, these pants were found by a volunteer that was searching, and they were sweatsuit style black, allegedly what Sebastian was last seen in. And authorities confirmed that they are unrelated, but they still said they've received, as of April, over 300 tips, and they are investigating all of them.
Okay, I want to get back to the pants. Did you say they were black sweatpants?
Black and sweatsuit style.
Sweatsuit style color black?
Yes.
Okay, where were they found, Lauren Conlon?
So it has not been disclosed exactly where, but Goodlettsville, it's 12 miles from Nashville. It's part of Sumner County and Davidson County, Tennessee, depending which side you're on. So it's kind of nearby Sebastian's home.
Back to Seth Rogers. This is Sebastian's father. You can find him online at hashtag Sebastian Strong. There is a GoFundMe to support him in his efforts. He's had to hire a private investigator, and he goes hours and hours and hours, day after day after day, searching for his son. He most recently returned from that rest stop we showed you where there was an alleged sighting of Sebastian. That's GoFundMe, Finding Sebastian Rogers Family Support. Seth, what, if anything, have you been told about that pair of black sweatpants?
That they are not related to my son.
Do you know where they were found?
I know that they were found at a particular park.
A park. A park. Do you know if they were the right size?
No. That's why they
Who
said
told you the information about the pants?
I received a text message from the detective.
Law enforcement?
Yeah.
Okay, question. Do you know what condition they were in, or if any DNA?
Yeah, CL, he passed. He passed. The guy that gave the test explained it multiple different ways. So he passed, and he said he doesn't feel that he was being in any way, shape, or form fake, or not fake, but that he was trying to allude to get away with anything or anything like that. So so that's what it is. He passed, end of story. She had to go in and come out and explain all these other things too that went along with it to make herself look better, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really care. I don't. I just don't. I didn't care about this. This has no bearing on anything to me. It doesn't. I want to know where the child is. I want to know about Sebastian. I don't want to know about him. I don't want to know about the other two or anything in their life. I just want to know where this child is and why he's not home. Period. That's what I care about. That's what I want to know about. Nothing more. Truly. I don't know.
Analysis was done for touch DNA, hair, fiber, anything that relate back to Sebastian. How did they suddenly decide, oh yeah, these aren't his?
They said that the size was wrong.
The size was wrong. Wasn't he last seen wearing black sweatpants, as we were told by the Proudfoots?
Correct.
Seth, when you learned that sweatpants had been found but were ruled out, according to law enforcement, how did that make you feel? What did that do to your will to keep searching?
When they said that those didn't belong to him, it just reinforced that North Carolina, my son was there.
And Mr. Proudfoot, you have volunteered to take a poly?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to set up a poly for you, would you take it?
Name the place and time, ma'am. I'll be there.
And you're headed back to Memphis right now. Are you in your RV right now?
I am in my RV. We are not disclosing our current location just because of safety reasons, due to the YouTubers, the Facebookers out there that have sent some very heinous, threatening information and things of that nature, threatened to be outside of our house, all kinds of nasty things.
Lauren Conlon, question, to your knowledge, have the Proudfoots taken a poly, or are they, to your knowledge, have the Proudfoots taken a poly, and are they searching for Sebastian?
Well, Katie Proudfoot announced pretty early on that she did take a polygraph and she passed. As far as Chris goes, I cannot say that. There's a lot of misinformation, whether he took one or not, and if he did take one, if he passed or not. And as far as them searching for Sebastian, they claim that they are working with law enforcement. So whatever that means, that's on them.
To Seth Rogers joining us, Sebastian's dad. Seth, how do you keep going with all of the hate, which I don't understand where that's coming from? How do you even put one foot in front of the other looking for your son?
He's my son. You're not going to stop me from looking for him. The world's full of hate. I choose to ignore it and look for the good. Finding my son is the good.
If you have information or think you have information regarding the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND, 1-800-824-3463. We stop and remember police officer Joshua Iyer, just 31. He was gunned down with 3 others trying to serve a warrant in Charlotte, North Carolina. a military vet. He leaves behind his loving wife, Ashley, and 3-year-old son, Andrew. American hero, Officer Joshua Iyer. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to MSM, but especially thank you to you for being with us tonight and every night as our prayers continue for the safe return of teen boy Sebastian Rogers. Nancy Grace signing off. See you tomorrow night, 6 and 9 o'clock sharp Eastern. And until then, good night, friend.
That was a big bowl of bullshit. Sorry. That didn't need to come out that way at all. I'm just saying. Oh, hold on a minute. I thought there was going to be something worth, hearing in there, worth seeing, something worth talking about. There wasn't really at all. I was told that Tony Mathis did a new interview. I'm curious. No, and no. No. Okay. So I don't see it. Okay. Yeah, where that wasn't even in there. Seth's theory. I didn't see that. They must have cut that or something. Didn't see or hear that. Did anybody else hear Seth say something about having a theory about this? Because that, I believe, I didn't hear it. If it was, I must have missed it. Miss Barbara, have a wonderful night. Get some sleep, please. Please. And again, thank you for joining us today, Barbara. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and a great day tomorrow as well. And like I said, we're always here. You know how to reach us. Thank you for joining us tonight as well. You are very much appreciated. Okay, so I don't see anything new. At all, honestly, which I don't understand. The apology guy. Oh. Where was it? I missed it then. I didn't even hear that. I'm sorry. Tony said it was to. Oh, okay then. Got it. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I didn't register. I didn't even catch it. Salty, I'm sorry. And then you said that Tony said it was taken down. I got you. Okay. It must have been because Seth didn't say anything like that, so they must have edited it out. Absolutely, Barbara. Again, have a wonderful night, and thank you for trusting in us to try to help you. Truly. Yes, agreed. Oh, you have it. If you want to send it, if you want to drop it in a DM, Salty, I'll put it up. I have no problems with that. That's fine. That way we can see what the heck it was, because I'm definitely curious. So, and again, guys, here we are back to, in my opinion, we're back to square one. Because like I said, I think a lot of us took that as hope, as much as I hate to say that. We probably shouldn't have, and I should have known better myself because I've covered so many of these cases. I couldn't help myself. It was so. It was just so. I was so sure of it. That's all I can say. Okay, thank you, Kara. I think. I think. Agree with that one, Range. That's a great point, brother. This case has become an ongoing hate crime in itself directed at the parents 100%. Yes. This case, and I'm sorry to say this, folks, and people are going to, if you want to disagree with me, I'm not angry. I won't be angry about it. In my opinion, this case has nothing to do with Sebastian Rogers anymore. This case has everything to do with everything and anything that Seth, Chris, Katie have done or could do wrong. Okay. Period. This is it's insane. Okay. It's just insane. Nothing to do with Sebastian Rogers. And I don't care anybody else can say that it does, and they're wrong. There's people. Hey, Ang, good to see you. AR, thank you for popping through. I'm cool. I live in South Carolina. I don't know what you mean by that one, but okay. I don't know. Oh, about the storms. I think maybe I could be wrong. It is, Kara. It has become nothing but that, and it's sad. No matter what anybody says or does, nobody wants to believe. They believe what they want. They don't want to hear anything. We have people, like I said, that are going out there making soap and naming it after one of the parents in a smug type of way. There's just so many ignorant things that are. This is not about a missing child anymore. It's not even remotely. Did you say you have it, Salty? If you do, I will put it up because I think people want to see it. So I'm surprised that and I'm not naming names, but there's certain creators, probably three or four of them, and I'm going to include Nancy in this, okay? That are out here to do this, to draw a narrative and run with that narrative as long and as far as they can, to the point that they've actually made statements that they don't want this narrative to change. Okay, that's disgusting. Wholeheartedly. It is absolutely disgusting. I heard a statement because it's been talked to, Tony Mathis was brought in to regulate, per se, to help to keep things. Welcome, Canadian Cat Lady. Good to see you. Thanks, AR. So he was brought in to regulate situations and keep the heat down and keep people, reeled in, or whatever you want to call it. And it's been stated by, I've heard another creator basically state that they don't want that. They want to keep this going like that. That's what they want. That is sickening to me. Welcome, Clue. Thank you for joining me. I wasn't even thinking about that. Sorry. So that's sickening to me. Okay, why would you want, again, when you're supposed to be out here like I am right now, like Clue does when she does it, when like Mind of Monsters does it, like Arctic Fox has done it, and all these other creators are out here just literally try to find this child, to put his name and his picture out there daily, so that people can try to help find this child and keep the info out there. Okay.
Well, I heard something tonight that was just disturbing, as I don't know what. and it was someone saying that Scary, you know who, was out passing out flyers. But in the midst of all of that, she was trying to get people to say that Katie did something wrong.
What do you mean? Like trying to get people to admit to that they think that?
Correct.
Good God. See? Why? Why does there have to be a blank? Why is it? I can't anymore with this. It is very possible, you guys, please hear me. They both, from my understanding, have taken these stupid polygraph tests, okay? Law enforcement has looked into both of them, all three of them, okay? That the police have told us, I don't know how many times at this point, there is nothing to show that any of these folks have committed any kind of foul play, have done anything indicative of anything bad in as far as involvement. We've heard that. And guys, let's be commonsensical here. Just a little bit. It's been 2.5 months we're going on, close to at least. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody. This has not even been legally turned into a criminal investigation because there hasn't been a crime found. Okay? So there's no crime scene. There hasn't been a crime to be found to make it a crime, a criminal, a real, like, legally binding criminal investigation, for lack of better terms. Why is it not possible that this child literally just walked out of the home and something bad happened after that point? Okay? Because
Agreed.
I'm telling you, and this isn't directed at you guys in here. I'm just saying, law enforcement has been on this from the beginning. Like, they jumped on it right away. We've all seen that, okay? They jumped right on top of this. There was no laying back, holding out, waiting 72 hours, whatever the hell it was. They were on this from the moment the phone call dropped. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody was even, like, put in the light as a person of interest that people are talking. Well,
I think Katie was in the beginning because they gave her a lie detector test awfully fast.
Well, maybe probably because she was the last person to be with him. So, you know,
right.
I'm sure at first, yeah, they have to look at that person like very, very scrutinizingly to make sure.
Right.
But again, that's even better. That says even more to me because they did that. Welcome QRPB. Thank you for joining us. I think I said that right, if I read it right. Anywho, that says a whole lot to me right there in itself, because they jumped on that so fast. They went directly to her because she was the last person to have seen him, to have been with him, to know what he was doing at that point. And they still pulled nothing out of that, okay? They went into the home. They questioned her, I'm sure, multiple times. There's nothing there, you guys. They would have done something already. And I've even thought about, well, they're holding out for something possibly. And not at this point, they're not. No, they're not. This is a child's life. We have to remember that. This is a child's life. They're not going to hold out and possibly leave him in a bad situation if they know that. That makes zero sense to me. Okay? It really makes none. So I can't.
Well,
I can't. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to point out, too, that allegedly Chris has taken a polygraph and he passed. Katie allegedly took one, she passed. Those were not Nancy Grace given polygraphs.
No, they were TBI.
Correct.
Law enforcement agencies, TBI. Professional, which I understand this guy was the FBI guy, whatever. Okay, great. They're all done at that point. They're all done.
Right.
So that tells me now, stop right there with that. And that tells me Seth has taken a polygraph by the head of the polygraph department with the FBI. Chris and Katie have taken lie detectors through the TBI. Guys, that's all three of them. They've all passed them. There's nothing else there. I don't understand why that everybody is so focused on that. Why we're so focused on Katie that we have to make a bar of soap called Come Clean Katie Spring Scent, Spring Essence, or whatever the fuck it was called. I'm sorry, but I'm so irritated right now with this shit. I'm tired of it. Leave these people alone. Okay? I'm still so mad about all the things. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm irritated with all of it on both sides of things. Like, I'm pissed right now. I'll be honest with you, because I personally looked at that picture and said, that really looks like him. I had hope, and it's gone. It's gone. That hope is gone.
Well,
I have my own version of hope too. Okay. That was a little extra added. Go ahead, Clue. Sorry.
I'm just going to point out two things. Number one, if that's true what that man said on that television, on this color box in front of me, that he said that boy instead of Sebastian, I don't like that. Number two,
I agree.
I forgot my second point. I knew I should have said that one first. It'll come back to me.
Well, while you're doing that and thinking about it, maybe I'll trigger it. Not to mention, next we have this other creator who, I'm sorry, the move that they made was complete bullshit and idiotic. By putting up a title that says Sebastian Rogers, colon or semicolon or whatever the hell it was, remains found in pond in Mississippi. What in the actual fuck? Do you know that gave me like heart failure? I was in the middle of an interview with a woman that needs our help, and I froze and locked out because I'm like, what? And again, thank God Clue came to the rescue and jumped in and said, Dago, it's fake. Okay. But I still looked, and you can see the way it was titled was to draw those people in just to watch what they had to say, which is so ignorant. The mindset for that is complete trash. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion, and you're not going to change it. So,
oh yeah, my second point, I got it. Woo.
Okay.
Jesus, my brain. I cannot help but look at this like this. Seth, 150,000% convinced that was Sebastian. So
Yeah.
much so, he literally got in his truck and drove there, right?
He went back twice. He went now, yes.
Meanwhile, Chris and Katie both were like on the fence.
And then we're waiting to hear back from TBI, from my understanding, and all that stuff. Yes.
Well, they were, I can only speak for they just weren't 100% convinced. And
Sure.
I think Chris came out, if I'm not mistaken, there was people saying that Chris immediately was like, no. I have to sit there in my head and go, now how can you, Chris, evil Proudfoot, if you will, know immediately that is not him if you aren't attentive and you aren't paying attention to your stepson?
Thank you. Absolutely. It is absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. Yes. I have never in my life. Now, I got to go backwards, guys. This is a missing child case. That's what this is. A missing child case. This isn't a robbery case. This isn't a murder case. This is a missing child case that involves 3 parents. I have never in my life seen a case turn into this from a missing child. It's a horrible thing. I'm not downplaying that, okay? Why has this turned into this? That's what I don't understand. In the beginning of this case, I said I have questions. That's all I've said. I have questions because there's some things I did question. As time moved on, those questions were getting answered. And whether it be by actions or other things that were coming out. And then other things started happening. Boom, 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 boom. And I got to be honest with you, folks. It started from what was going on social media right here, not in this channel, but right here in this whole platform. Okay. And it started off as a tiny little snowball, and here it goes down that hill, and it's so damn big right now. Nobody can break it down. Nobody wants to, because I've heard, again, I'm repeating this because it made me sick to my stomach. I heard another creator say they want this to stay exactly the way it is, because that's what it's all about. They don't want this to change. Are you
might
kidding?
as well name them. That's Dolly. They got a petition right now for Seth to fire this PR guy so the drama continues and he can keep his pockets getting fatter. I'll pull no punches. I'll call him out.
He
That's
wants
Dolly.
he wants
playing
to
dirt.
dump gas on this fire. His exact words. I want to dump gas on this fire.
100%.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you mind if I read it?
Where is Sebastian at in that comment?
There you go. Read the thing.
Yeah, let me read the petition to you. It says, "Dear true crime community, I am writing to petition for the removal of Tony Browse Mathis as the PR person for Seth Rogers in the case of missing Sebastian Rogers. It has become apparent that Mr. Mathis's actions and statements have not been in the best interest of finding Sebastian Rogers and have only clogged the case like a turd. He serves to create confusion and hinder the search efforts. It is imperative that someone who is dedicated to transparent communication and the swift resolution of this case be appointed as the new PR person, aka the father. We urge you to consider, request, and take action to justice and closure to the Rogers family, aka Seth Rogers, the father. Sincerely, we the people."
How many signatures it got?
Let's see.
It's right there.
Well, this is old. I haven't refreshed
Oh.
this. 447.
So that's 447 people that love drama. That's what that is. That don't care about where Sebastian is, in my opinion. Am I wrong for saying that? Anybody? Am I wrong for saying that those people don't seem to care for where Sebastian is? Because they agree with that statement.
That's true.
They agree with that statement. And that's what we're sitting here right now, talking about, wondering about, worrying about. I've lost sleep about. Clue has gone into her pockets and spent her own money and walked the ground about. And multiple other creators have come in here daily, just like I have, regardless of whether there's anything to talk about with it. We've talked about it to ensure, excuse me, guys, I have a piece of candy in my mouth, to ensure that his name and his face is shown at least once a day, because we want this child found. I don't give two shits what has happened in Chris and Katie's life. I don't give a shit what has happened in Seth's life. I don't give a shit what has happened between Seth and Katie, or Chris, Seth, and Katie, or Nina and Chris. I don't care about any of that. I never have. I want to know where 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers is and why he's not at home. That's what I want. That's all I want. But we can't get that kind of information because we have to go through the obstacle course of all the stuff I just said every fucking day. And again, excuse my language, but I'm over this, folks. I'm over coming onto the internet when I wake up with my first cup of coffee and seeing an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. Talk about what her mother has done in her life and what her sister has done that she's estranged from because she doesn't have anything to do with that, but it's her fault somehow and has something to do with where the hell Sebastian is. Make it make sense.
Well, that's what's so funny to me. And it's someone asked me where her family was to support her going through all this, and I'm thinking maybe they're not there, not because they think she did something, but because she don't fucking want them there.
which again brings focus to the point that she's estranged from them, has nothing to do with them, so that has nothing to do with her, what they've done. But we have an idiot that needs to say something like that to ensure that it's going to bring drama to his channel and more people to watch him. That's what it's about. It's not about finding the child. I don't understand this anymore.
I think he's muted if he's talking.
Are you muted?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you are.
Or his mic cut out.
Or your mic stopped working.
Can you hear me?
There you
There
are.
you are.
Oh, I turned the volume down too low. Something. Sorry.
Angry Dago is my fave. What? Gray Pearl.
I
Well,
don't understand this is what it is.
You know what bothers me? And I've noticed this trend. Like, I'm probably like the newest, whatever page, whatever you call it. But I've noticed that JLR will come out and he will write a narrative about something. And literally every wannabe JLR channel just falls in line. He started on the whole preacher wife suspicious death, da 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 da. Next thing I know, Rascal's got it on.
They're sheep. The sheep are being flocked together and led through the field. Sorry. That's how I see it. People can't have their own damn minds anymore. They can't. Why? Why? Why do you have to have Thank you, Mr. Steve. There you go. He broke it. I'm good. I'm good now. Thank you.
He said there was an emergency petition to mute Dago.
Oh my God. Thank you, Mr. Steve. I appreciate it. I needed that. That's good. Okay. Now I'm bounced again.
I agree, Pete Fox. Like, someone said something along the lines of they all work together. They listed like some creators that like work together. And I'm like, I can absolutely believe that, because it really seems like none of them, not one of them, is their own think tank, if you will. They just, JLR says they're toast. Let's go in on them. And it's like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, let's bring in a piece of toast and wave it around. They're toast, guys. What? Where's the professionalism to that? I'm sorry. I'm not Mr. Shirt and Tie, Mr. Professional. Yes, I get upset. I swear sometimes. Okay, whatever. When I get angry, I get angry. I'm angry. This is a child, guys. It's a child. A child's life. It's not a sideshow for people to come in and pick it apart. Okay.
We might need to light a candle in case it goes out. Our power just went out.
Oh, are you guys okay?
I mean, it's on. It's back on, but it just went. It's going to go out by the end of the night.
Ours usually, that's how mine is. It flickers 2 or 3 times and it's gone.
Hey, the dark's not dangerous.
Depends who's out there in it. It depends who's out there in it. I didn't know if like there was wind blowing, tornado stuff.
No, so I was putting this in chat. I apparently triggered some girl named Holly, but they're doing like water rescue. They're actually doing legit water rescues in Gallatin. And So just today, in the little bit when it started raining this afternoon, we've gotten 7 inches of water.
Wow. You guys flood often, or is it?
No, like our neighbor, that's what she called about, because her front yard was like a swamp. But we don't really flood where we are.
Are you up on a hill, or are you down like in a valley, or like level?
We're kind of in a valley, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's we spent our time and healthy backs trying to make sure it drains right.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, hopefully it doesn't get too bad to where you guys got to leave or something. You know what I mean? That's not cool.
No, I think the worst of
I've
it's
seen
here. Hopefully, everybody
we've never flooded here. Our river has banked, and it's gone to where it's out in people's yards, but it's never come into our homes. You know what I mean? It's still scary because you don't know if that could happen if it keeps on raining. I've seen it rain for like 3-4 days, and next thing you know, the river is level with the river bank, and you're like, what's next? So I get it. Yeah, these storms are insane.
It's apparently going to run here till 4:30 in the morning. So
hopefully you don't open the door to a swimming pool in the morning.
No.
Now I know, like when it rains here, my front yard will plug up a little bit, and the very back, but you know it dries up within a couple days. So not to the point where you got to get in the canoe to go to work. I've seen that happen in the Carolinas a couple times, and down in Florida. So as long as you guys are safe, that's all that matters. Now the thing that gets me with this shit with these storms has been going on like everywhere all day, and I think it was happening yesterday too, if I remember right. So that's what I when I look at the Weather Channel, I see tornadoes over top of like all you guys. I'm like, well, shit. And a couple weeks ago, it was me. So we're all just trading off with it, you know.
Yep.
What'd you say, Victoria? Now I'm tempting fate with earthquakes because and you're in Cali, so if I lived out there, I'd be in the I wouldn't live out there, but more power to any of you that do. We had EF2 in See, we don't get them little ones out here. When we get them, they're looking at 4s and 5s. That's what the plan is when it comes down. So we buckle down, grab our ankles, and lock down with the seatbelt. That's how it works. So somebody was getting hail, I believe, the size. I think it was Doodle was talking about it earlier, talking about hail the size of apples. What the hell's going on? Like I've seen golf ball size. I've heard about.
My mom sent me a picture like that.
Of apple-sized hail?
Yeah, it's like people.
Holy shit!
Let me see if I can find it.
I mean, I'd be if you don't have your car in the garage. Nope. And spiky. Yeah, people get killed from that shit. You got an ice ball coming at 100 miles an hour out of the sky, and with spikes sticking out of it. Bye.
Yeah, it was in Bean Station, Tennessee.
That's Bean Station.
Hold on, I'll send you the picture.
Yep, that's another good point, Salty. That he asked Seth more questions about Katie and Chris than he did about Seth. Makes no sense. So be it. Holy shit. Them look like no way.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be some kind of psycho to like put water in your freezer just to prank people like that.
That's like you'd have to go out of your house with a baseball bat in your hand, like swinging to get through it. Look at this shit, guys. Bing, bang, boom. Now, some of these, I've seen this, okay? These little ones here. And even even that. These things look like weapons. Look at the edges of them. Like, that's gonna hurt if you get hit with that. I can see this shit knocking people out.
Did that
Solid.
happen in like China or something? Japan? It
I
started like
think.
hailing.
Yeah,
It
I
was killing
think
people.
it did. Guys, look, if this is coming through the sky, I can't imagine how fast it's going, but if it's coming down quick. People got brand new cars out here, brand new. Mercedes, BMW. It doesn't even have to be that. A brand new car that you're making payments on. One of these things, or any of these things, they're going through your windshields. They're denting your hood up. They're beating up your car. And imagine if this stuff comes down all at one time. You know what I mean? Like, no way. I'd be standing at the door like, is it over yet? Nope, I'm not going out there. You got to wear a football helmet to go outside. Yeah, that's it too, Juju. New weapon amount. I can see China and Russia putting together giant machines that spit hail to kill everybody.
That's what Ryan Hall tells you to do, to wear a helmet if you're in the path of a tornado, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yep, I've heard him do it before. At least earthquakes aren't seasonal. Well, that's true too, Victoria. Well, don't say that the last big one was in 89, because that means it could be due. So don't do that. She said gorilla hail. Yeah, right. What it looks like. That's why my deductible is 100. I had my car 3 months before hail did. Oh my God. See, and you can't really. There's nobody that you can make pay for it because it's a Mother Nature. She did it. She ain't paying for it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I bought a car one time, and this thing was not very old at all. I think it was like 2 years old or something. Literally went on my lunch break to the dealership to pick it up and finalize the paperwork and everything. On everything, I got back to work, and it just starts storming like crazy, and it's hailing, and I'm out there like, my car, and literally went outside, and I had like 2 perfect dents in the hood. I was pissed. I was so mad.
100%. That's what I'm saying. You work hard to get, a new car. You're proud of it. And I mean, I've seen people that have had or heard stories about people that had their car for like a week, couple days. Hold on a minute. I gotta show you guys something real quick. Yeah, I needed that break. That was great, Steve. You really stopped me. I love it too. That was awesome. Okay, here we go. Look at this stuff. Right? See this? I would be pissed. Very, very mad. And this isn't even really big hail, but all the little pieces of it, look what it did. You got how you gonna fix that? Like, I've seen people pull dents out of cars. There's like 300 dents. Little ones. So they're gonna sit there with that dent puller like all over the place. No, you just gotta buy a new hood. That's crazy to me. And then there's more. Look at that. No way. And all these busted windshield, the dented hood. You can't. No. That's it. There you go. Back window busted out. This is what I'm talking about. Is stuff like this where your whole windshield is gone and dents are everywhere. This guy's got the right idea. Look at that. It's called a hail blanket.
Oh, wow. That's smart.
It is, isn't it? Never seen that before. Which means whoever lives here, wherever this is, they must get it a lot.
He's got a hail blanket on a car sitting outside in front of a garage.
In front of a garage.
In front of the garage, right.
That's because the wife's car is in the garage.
Yeah.
Wow.
You just got to get that liner on it that they put in truck beds. You just got to spray your whole car with that.
That rubberized
Rhino
stuff.
liner. You
Rhino,
can't dent.
yeah.
That's my car sprayed in that. And you can't dent that thing. Like, you probably could not dent it for anything. Not with no hail.
I mean, I'd be scared to death if you see something coming flying through the air like that. That size. Where
Them
are you?
big balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Good Lord. That's a lot of crazy stuff right there. Even these ones here aren't too super small. Those could hurt. These little ones, actually, I'll be honest with you. I've been with these little tiny pieces where those things sting when they hit you too, if they're coming down fast enough. See, I'd be mad about all this. They got a blanket on his. Good idea. I guess if you hear that you're getting a storm and that shit's coming, you better run out there with a comforter and some pillows or something.
You know what I bet would be a great hail blanket? One of them moving blankets you get from like U-Haul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would be mad paying for you. Some people pay $600-700 a month for car payments, and then you come outside in the morning to this. Nope. Which is good while you get insurance. I get it, but still.
Yeah, but then you gotta pay
Pay your deductible, right?
Is.
Yep.
You might as well drive around with it dented.
That's the thing. A lot of people have to look at this one here. Mattress as hail protection.
That's smart too.
Yeah, at least it's covered the windows and stuff. God Lord. That's crazy. Anyway, I needed a subject change. Apologize for getting so upset, guys. I take this case very personal. I have from the beginning. I'm very close to this emotionally for some reason. I have been from the beginning as well. I want this child to come home. I'm tired of seeing and hearing all. I mean, there is so much, okay? Sorry about that. There's so much of crazy stuff that's going on every single day about this. And I'm sick of the yeah. I'm sick of all of it because that's all it is. I just want them to, everybody. I want all the parents, law enforcement, and everybody that's covering this like we do, just to focus on the child and talk about him, show his picture, say his name, move on, leave everything else alone. That's all. Let the parents do what they have to do to get through this. Let it be. Just let it be.
Well, and one of the things that I think about with this it is a situation of I don't know the intimate details of a lot of other missing people cases, right? Missing kid cases, whatever you want to call it. But like I compare this to Caleb Harris, especially since Tony has come into the picture on this one, right? And I don't know everything about the Caleb Harris case, but what I do know is I haven't heard near the level of drama. Now, the speculation I have heard about what it could be this, could have been that, and blah, 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 and I understand all that, but I haven't heard near the amount of drama. And I look at that and I say, my instant thought is, well, Seth's spreading all this drama, but then I step back and I look at it and it's like, in retrospect, you look at things and you say, no, it's really the people that are hungry, just drooling to get the man that will speak and will share every ounce of anger and possibility that he could ever think of with them on live stream, and they capitalize off of it all day.
You're 100%, and I've seen the truth is that this man went to social media, was not on it on a regular basis. I'm going to say went to social media looking for answers, following the chats, getting ideas because he wants to find his child, and took what everybody said in social media and he spoke on it. And they knew that. And when they saw that he was doing that, they put more out. And when they saw that he kept going with it, they put more out, and they made it bigger and stronger and nastier. And he rode with it, and he went with it because it was like leading the blind. Okay. Because he didn't know what he was doing out here. and was not familiar, in my opinion, with how it worked. Okay. And then he got it and he took off with it because he wanted to, maybe he thought that's how it worked. I don't know. I don't know how to finish that, but that's what I think happened. And I agree with you, Cletus, that they just took it. It's in my opinion, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not saying it's anybody in here, but it's the subscribers to the channels that cover this stuff. They support it. If you don't go into a channel that is doing this and support it, they have nothing to do. They can't run with it because there's nobody to watch it. And it's not going to go anywhere. So what's the point? You see what I'm saying? But these people, some of these people cannot have anything but the drama, or they don't want to be, it's boring. Okay. For instance.
Well, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I can pick it up after you. Go ahead.
I do agree to a certain extent with Sarge. He says that he really does see a lot of the like autistic traits in Seth.
I agree. Yes.
And he personally finds it really disturbing that so many people are using him and he may not even understand it.
I absolutely agree with you. Thank you, QRPB. I appreciate you. I do, because I don't think he realizes that he possibly could have it, and doesn't. His mind, knowing what I know about autism, first of all, he may come off slightly more immature than what his age group should be. Okay, because of how he's reacted to some things. Some people could see it that way. I have in some senses, but I also understand autism. Okay, a lot of us do at this point. So in turn, take the stress that he's under because his child's missing. Take the angst for that, the heartbreak. Okay, a lot of people don't know how to express that in positive ways. They don't know how to express how they feel because just people don't know how to express emotions. Period. Sometimes not everybody can be the crybaby that I am when my emotions hit the surface. Okay, and that's okay. I'm okay with it because I know how I am. So people try to hide that. They try to hold that in. Okay. And in turn, it turns into something else. Anger, all of that. And so they go into these chats and they read through the chat. He said it. You've heard him, Clue. He has clearly stated, I'm here. I'm not really there. I'm just looking at your chat. And he'll read somebody say, well, Chris and Katie's mom took off to Alaska. I bet, and I'm just using this as an example. I bet Sebastian was in the back seat. Why'd they leave and do this? Why'd they leave and do that? I bet Sebastian this and that. And he's reading these things and they're swirling in his brain. And eventually it's going to come out. You can't sit on that stuff. And it has. We've seen it. So at that point, do you blame him or do you blame this?
I think
there's a line.
There is a line, right? Personally, like, I guess for me personally, I just don't understand how you could rationalize letting out some of the things that he has said. But when Sarge said that, it was kind of like, for me, I'm like, maybe that is like, it's obviously
yes
passed on hereditarily, right? Is I think what he was saying, and from the father's side.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is. That's how Caden got his, because it's truly believed that I'm on the spectrum as well, guys. I just have never really delved into it because it wasn't a big deal back in my day. So go ahead. Sorry.
Well, if he doesn't seem to be someone who's probably ever gotten maybe the help or whatever he needed. So I'm not, like, I don't want to give him an excuse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if
I know what you mean.
Like, if it is something like that, then that does to me need to be considered. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I agree with you. Mr. Steve, thank you again, sir, for being here. Says, I doubt any of us could withstand the masses looking at our lives and not being shocked at the speculation of our past when taken out of context. 100%, sir. Absolutely. Thank you. Amen. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I've been through that. I know what it's like.
And it creates, for me, it creates a situation where and I said this day one, I wouldn't talk to anybody, right? And it's not fair for me to say that, because it's not that there aren't people out here that want to help and genuinely, are mindful about the things that they put out in situations like this. But it literally, all of the drama and BS that's gone on with this case that, creators have just anxiously awaited, have billed the day for Seth to come on their panel and then ask him pointed questions to get him to talk negatively about the other side, is exactly why I say I wouldn't talk to anybody, because that's what it becomes.
And that
it's really unfortunate that we create that environment for families that are going through things like this, instead of it being a safe place where they can come get the help that they need from masses of people, and it not be an attack, it not turn into, well, this is what you did 20 years ago, you must be a bad guy.
I agree, because if you look at how useful social media can be, just like that day we were out there searching with Seth, 2 people showed up. One lady was watching JLR and another was watching us, and they just recognized the location and they came there to help search.
And that's why I was streaming you guys live when I was live, being out there and saying, hey, if anybody sees this and you're in the area, go help them. That's what I was doing that for. One of the main reasons. Bingo. It can be very helpful. You're right. I agree with you.
But it can also run off more than what it brings in, right?
Absolutely.
Because I have seen people say, I've left this case because of the drama. Well, if you brought 2 into a search but ran off 20 because of the drama,
you're not helping
you haven't done
anything,
any good, right? You've hurt things.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, guys. We have to be, obviously, we don't have a choice. There's a very few of us out here. Okay. We have to be, in my opinion, and I'll take this on. I have no problem with it. We have to be the voice of reason. We have to be the adults. Okay. Because it seems to be that the very few of us that are doing it like this are the only ones that are doing it with common sense, that aren't doing it for moments of greed, that aren't doing it to try to get as many people in here to watch us, to ensure that the paycheck that next month is a big whopping paycheck, because that's how I see it happening at this point. I know I'm not making a ton of money off this, but I know one thing. I know there's not a day that goes by that I don't say this child's name and the other people's names that I've put out there. Okay. So that's why I feel okay about it. And why, when I go to bed at night, if I can't fall asleep, it's because I'm wondering where he is and why he's not home. Not that I feel guilty because of what I did that day. That's the problem. And the other problem with it is that I don't think these people have that conscience to feel guilty. That's the scary part to me. So, and here's a fact, folks, I can promise you this is probably true. And this goes for both sides. And I don't think there was any bad intentions at the point that it happened. But I think that if Chris and Katie would have never, and it has nothing to do with where they did it at or who they did it with, or even them themselves, okay? I think and feel that they truly thought they were doing something that could really help bring attention to this and maybe help to bring him home. I truly feel that. But if
going online?
Yes, I think they truly felt that.
But see, that's where you're wrong, because people were already on them saying, why aren't they talking? Why aren't they out here pleading for help before they even went online?
Well, so I never saw that until after that first interview. I think, well, that's maybe I did see a couple comments like that, but I didn't really pay attention to any of that stuff until I saw that first interview. And Seth didn't do anything for a long time. Okay, he kind of refused to, and then boom, here he come like wildfire because of, I think he thought maybe he was going to get some kind of the same thing out of it, but it didn't work. And I just feel like if they wouldn't have done it, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad as where we're at right now with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think if all three of them hadn't have done it, I would agree. But if Seth had come out and they would have never said anything, it would be the same. Well, how come he's out here?
Well, yeah.
Like, you have to come out, in my opinion, as a united front. And to be fair,
yes,
they were until Seth broke a promise about the money.
Right. No, I know. I absolutely get that. Yes. I don't know. I just wish this would have never turned down this direction, and we'd just be sitting here showing his face, talking about him, trying to figure out where he went and how, which we've done all that too. But like I said, there's other channels that have done nothing but based on the titling from day one. They put up the same title. It's clickbaity. It's gross, and it's leading people into these dark caverns where they're going in and going at other people for no reason. The accusational stuff is ridiculous because it's been proven and told to us by the law enforcement, not that that's not what it is. But people don't want to hear it. They want to believe and hear what they believe. It takes the, I hate to say it like this, guys, but it's right. It takes the entertainment aspect out of it if that's not the belief. If that makes sense, what I just said. This is not supposed to be entertainment, you guys. We're looking for a missing child. This is not watching primetime entertainment for the night. It's supposed to be looking for a child. But to others, this is their entertainment. They come in for that entertainment. Oh boy, I can't wait to see what Seth said about Chris now and what Chris did. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. How about I can't wait until Sebastian comes home? There's not much of that.
And I mean, that's the part I think that really, as a person who's like really interested in true crime, that's the part of it that I can't stand, because I do agree knowing things about people's past, things like that, it does help you kind of like paint a picture.
In some senses, yes, I agree. I do. I do.
Caroline talks about all the time, like profiling, right? You think people that do that for a living don't use things that have happened in a person's life?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I do agree that stuff can help you sort of paint a picture, an image of a person, but I don't know.
It creates a narrative, but you don't have to push it, right? That's ultimately what it is. It does create a potential narrative that could make sense, but if your intent with it is not to truly help,
right,
then it becomes what it is right now, right? Where it's just every day, video after video. Did the grandparents do it? Did there was a pressure washer? Oh my God! All these things. And that's what it becomes.
And it has everybody. It's the sideshow at the circus, like I said. Steve says again, the saddest statement ever made to me was from a father prior to his child being found a homicide victim. You can't eat without thinking, is your child hungry? Where are they? Absolutely, 100%. And I've never, thank the Lord, been through that, okay, to that extent. But that has to be, those are the thoughts that make me sad, that I think that these parents are going through daily. And I would never want to have to experience. I was in T-Revs live all night. Let's just keep positive over here. And you guys are talking about how Seth. What are you talking about, Gina? Have I one time said Seth needs help? Has anybody heard me say that? Because that's not what I'm saying.
I don't
And
think so. I haven't heard that.
you got me confused, but okay. So be it. I think he does need some help understanding, which he's got now, in my opinion, how to work through this and how to deal with what he's dealing with in some senses. I think that's what he's got now.
He needs an advocate that's genuine, right?
Yes.
They all three need support systems that are genuinely there to support them and help them, through this and help them find the child. But at a minimum, help them through this. And somebody that can be trusted, that has no ulterior motive, and that's truly just wanting to be a support system.
Yeah.
And if there are things about Tony Mathis that make me raise an eyebrow, but at the end of the day, I don't know his intent, and time will tell what his intent truly is, right? And I think it's a great thing
Exactly.
that there is somebody that's standing there saying we're not going to do the mudslinging. Now, if he delivers on that message, then that's a great thing.
And that's
that is the help that Seth does need.
That's what I mean by that, because we saw it. We saw it the other day where there were questions asked, and he says, "No, we're not going to go there. We're not going to talk about that." I'm like, "Thank you. Yes, that's perfect." And Seth sat there quietly. That's what's needed, because those questions were prompting darkness, for lack of better terms. That's what it was. They were prompting to get him going, and it's been so easy to do that, okay? Because you just got to say one thing, he comes back with his answer.
Yeah.
Then that one rolls into another, then that one rolls into another, and the person interviewing takes full advantage of that, watching their chat get all riled up, and then more people start rolling in, and there it is. No, that's not what this is about.
I do have to say this, though. There's a part of me that almost can't 150,000% get behind it's social media that has influenced him, because that day you and I met him, he hadn't been on no social media at all. He wasn't surrounded by a big group of people who were putting things in his ear. And again, he told us about the situation that happened with Sebastian that day. He also said things about Chris and Katie that were very leading, if you will. So I'm sitting here like I really can't get behind it. Was the whole social media driven him. I think that, like, I don't know what the purpose was. Someone made a good point. They said, he may have told you that in hopes that you would leak that information. But I'm not that person, and it didn't work. But the minute he goes online, it comes out to like the world. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, that is the issue, right? I mean, we can't sit and be we can't, and I wouldn't want to be Seth, right? I wouldn't want to be Chris and Katie. I wouldn't want to be Sebastian in this situation, just because of the situation it is.
Yeah.
And I think people that are dealing with people that are in that situation have got to be mindful of what they're going through, and cautious, be the buffer for them instead of the advocate for the drama, right? Because that's what I see more times than not, is the questions getting asked that they know are going to get the dramatic things to come out.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that, an advocate is a good thing.
Amen.
They're neutral, they're unbiased, and if their purpose is to avoid the drama, then that's a great thing.
And again, like, not everybody, that people don't go through this thing every day. These people that go through these situations, it's not like a normal thing that they're used to doing. And when they come out here, this is their first time having this experience, hopefully, most of the time. So therefore, in turn, they don't really know how to do this. Okay. We do this every day with multiple different cases. So we see what happens. We know what's going to happen. We know how this can work, which is another thing that kind of pisses me off, because you see creators that as soon as it pops off, they're jumping on that haystack like, here we go. We got a fresh one, folks. Fresh meat. And that's what happens. Okay. And they roll it and they just go with it as long as they can. And we've literally watched, we've even talked about this, Clue, certain channels that will have one title one day and they run with it for 3-4 months until the new meat comes into town. The title changes up and they jump right on into that one and they just keep it going. They keep it going every day. There's no, in my opinion, there is zero morality in that because all that is a cash grab. 99,000,000% is what that is. Okay. Now, every creator out there has some form of an income that's coming in, whether it's tips or donations or a tip jar or AdSense or none of that. Even if sometimes there's still donations or super chats, whatever. The people I'm referring to, they're banking, you guys, off of this. It's so sad. They're banking so much off of this, which is where the greed comes into effect, in my opinion, to the point where that's why they have to make these things happen. Why they got to dump gas on the fire. Why they got to not let things change up and calm down. That's the sickening part to me, that I couldn't even live with myself if I was doing something like that. Again, I'm not making shit out here, folks. My numbers are down, all of that stuff. But you know what? I'm going to still come out here every single solitary day and say that child's name and show his face because I'm doing that for that reason. And I know I'm right by doing it. That's why I do it that way. It's okay that I'm not doing at the top of Social Blade right now. Okay. I don't care. I don't. Yes, it's important in some senses, but it's the last thing on my mind. The first thing is, where's this child? Which is what every creator that's touching this case should be thinking. And they're not, and it makes me sick. And I never realized it. Or maybe it's just gotten worse. Maybe that's the thing. But I was going to say, I never realized. And it's these larger channels that when new channels come in, like I was new, I'm still kind of new compared to some of these guys. And I'm still a small guy, small fry, whatever you want to call it. And we look up to these bigger channels to give us guidance and to show how to do this, how to make it happen, how to draw in the big crowds to make something be seen that is important. And that's the role model, guys. I'm sorry, but that's not a role model to me. That's the last thing I want to be. And the last thing I will be. I'm sorry. So, and the sad part is I used to follow and kind of look up to a couple of these channels in some senses, per se, you know. The respect, if any, that was there is completely been flushed down the toilet. Absolute. I've even talked about Hustle specifically, that I do respect certain creators for. At this point, I can't even look at that. I can't, because you've washed that out with all this other disgusting greed that you're using to gain off of this. It's sickening to me. So be it. I must not be subbed to those channels you're talking about. Well, at this point, Melissa, I would hope not, but a lot of people are. You got to see it for what it is. That's the other problem. She spoke on one of them. I'm not going to throw their names out. I don't do that. But if you know what I'm saying, or you've heard anything we've said in some senses, you could kind of figure it out too. But you probably aren't. A lot of people aren't subscribed to them. They have enough subscribers. I can promise you that. They're not lacking by any means. I like him too, Siri. A lot of people don't like JB. I don't know why. I think he's cool. I like him.
Who, Gunner?
No. No. JB, is it Bueno, the dude from WFLA? Yeah. I like him. I don't know why. I don't know. I think he's upbeat and he's, positive in some ways. I've always watched him. Started watching him with Petito's case. I remember. JB Live in the stream room or whatever.
Oh, is that the one you can text, "Hey JB" or something?
Yeah. I like it. I'm sure most of the ladies like him too.
Ew, why?
I've seen a lot of ladies talk about, oh, he's so cute and he's dreamy or whatever. I don't know.
Good God Almighty.
Everybody got different tastes. So you know how that goes. The police will be doing all that with the parents. They ask for help, and everyone just saw a green light. Well, and you know, I gotta say that's what Salty said in the very beginning when she called in. That she feels like, and I kind of agree with her, that we have sat here and she said she respects it, as we all do, that the police get their information, and we've talked about this back and forth. Clue, you said this, I've agreed with you, and then we've talked about it the other way, and who knows, but she's claimed that, or she said that, you know, they asked us for help in the beginning. They did. They asked all of us out here to help find this child in any means that we can, keep doing what we're doing, so on and so forth. But then they gave us little bits and pieces of information. It was not even enough in the beginning. It was a bunch of shit, according to me. We had no idea who Sebastian was. We didn't know anything. We had to kind of pull it all out and figure it out ourselves. Okay, Salty, hold on. And yeah, that's fine. Hold on. Let me load it back in. But again, let me finish this up. She said that they, with respect to what they do, that once you bring us into this, we're all helping. We're all trying to help. And we have only got to go on what they give us. And we've gone through that. There's nothing left. We've sifted that down to nothing. We got one little nugget of gold out of that, and that's it. Then we ended up getting false hope because of the photo, and we all were pumped up, and here we are. And then that was taken away from us too. So we're back down to square one. They need to give, if they have anything else, they need to give something to the public that's trying to help.
Well, here's the way
some form of something is what I'm saying.
I kind of view the police asking for the public's help, right? If you listen to what they've asked for, it's locals, check your properties.
Yeah.
If there's somewhere you don't want to check, then you call us. We'll send someone out. Right. And here's the thing. Eric Craddock can get up there and say that because he knows he lives in a good community where people care about their neighbors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they ask for the help of the public because they really depend on the majority of people being good people who will help and not expect anything in return. It is an investigation. You can't solve an investigation if you're giving away everything that you have.
Right. No, that makes sense. It does. Absolute sense. Yeah, go ahead and call in, Salty. It's all set up.
Well, and I mean, the other side of them giving more information is, you know, we've had conversations about, you know, Seth has said that he doesn't feel like he gets as much information from law enforcement because he's said things, right? He's said before that he's gotten in trouble for saying certain things. Well, if you look at the TBI updates, right, and we talked about this, the one back on April 25th was 3 paragraphs, and one of those was dedicated to debunking misinformation about a flyer, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, we can't expect for them to give us information if we can't respond with it.
No, I agree. Hey, Salty, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey.
All right.
Okay. So I had to do some stuff, but I was trying to email that to you and it wouldn't let me. It was saying it was too big. So what I did was just uploaded it to my YouTube. But when it starts out, it's literally, if you listen to what Nancy Grace is going to say, she says these are questions that were asked of Seth, paraphrased questions that were asked after the test was administered. So why they even brought these questions up is beyond me, but it's trashy content creation. So it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You'll see it when you'll hear it. What I didn't do was I blocked out their faces, We all know what Nancy Grace sounds like and Seth, and we know what Tony sounds like. These are clips from Nancy's interview before it was taken down. And this is also the interview from Tony a little while ago on the TikTok live that I caught.
Okay.
That you can't see now. So that's what you're about to review. And so it's going to be the first part is where Nancy brings up Seth's theory. They talk about that, and then Tony comes in and explains where he stands on that, the photo, law enforcement, everything. So y'all give it with a grain of salt and take it for what it is.
Gotcha.
I kind of wanted to set it up and not just throw it out there and let everybody hear that and hear what. I mean, we've all kind of heard this theory already thrown out there, but this was something that was said like a month ago. But why Nancy brought it up? Well, we all know why, for the bullshit.
Yeah.
But this is what's going around right now, so that's where we're at.
Okay. And it's on your Facebook, you said, right? Or I mean, your YouTube, right?
It's on there now.
Okay. Okay, Salty. Thank you.
All right. All right. I'm gonna say good night.
Okay. Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So she clipped all that before they took it down.
So is she trying to say that hold on. Is she trying to say that those questions were asked after?
Yeah, there was questions that they clipped it out of Nancy's show because there was a big deal made about it. And they
So those weren't the questions on the polygraph?
There was questions asked on the polygraph, and then there's questions asked after the polygraph that we didn't get to see or hear, along with a theory that Seth had that was based off of the stuff like that. And she said it's really like it's out there because that's why it was taken off, because it was made, there was a big deal made about it. So I'm kind of interested now. And it shows basically that wait a minute. Where the heck is it? Where'd your channel go, Salty? Anyway, it's stuff that's completely different from what we watched in the Nancy Grace episode, I guess. They clipped, but she clipped it all before they could pull it down because somebody made a big deal about it, and so there was a whole thing, and they were going to mute it or something else, and then they just took it off, which is why we didn't see any of it, which I thought was interesting. Salty Sleuth True Crime. Hold on a minute. What the hell? One moment, guys. I gotta make sure that I'm hitting the right thing here. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. Uno momento. Why can't I not find her channel? I'm subscribed to it. Oh, is that it right there? Good Lord, it won't come up. What the hell? Okay. Thank you. Here it is. Here it is. I found it. You sent it to me. Tony Mathis speaks after the last Nancy Grace interview. Here it is. Yeah. All right. All right.
Paraphrase questions and responses from Seth after a polygraph was conducted. What is your theory of what happened to your son, Sebastian? What did Seth say?
He explained to me that Sebastian was routinely taking a sleep aid, and he believes that Sebastian probably wouldn't go to sleep. So his mom, Katie, overdosed him and caused his death. That's what he told me.
Again, no one has been named as a person of interest, a suspect, or a defendant in this case. Did you ask Seth, what did Katie tell you happened to Sebastian?
I did.
What was his response?
He stated that Katie told him that she and Sebastian had a wonderful day. They came home, they went to bed. At approximately 6:00 a.m. the next morning, she discovered he was gone. She looked through the house, walked all around outside and hollered his name. She went to his school, drove all around there, but couldn't find him. And then she returned home.
Did you ask him whether he had proof Chris Proudfoot was out of town?
I did ask him that question. He said he does not have any proof of that.
Did you ask him whether Sebastian ever revealed why he did not want to go back to his mother's home?
I did ask him if Sebastian told him that he did not, or why he did not want to go. I'm sorry. I did ask him, did Sebastian tell you why he did not want to go back to his mom's house? And he answered, no, he did not tell him.
Did you ask Seth whether Chris and Katie Proudfoot's stories were consistent?
I asked him if Chris and Katie had told some inconsistent stories about what had happened, and he said yes. In his opinion, they had told several stories that seemed to be inconsistent.
Did you ask whether Katie Proudfoot worked for a security company?
I did.
And?
He told me that she worked and probably still works for Brinks Home Security.
All right. Someone says that they heard the audio yesterday, and at this point, what does he have to lose by giving that theory or sharing that theory?
Well, I don't think Seth cares if he has anything to lose, but I think the point here is that his opinion on what happened changes daily and weekly. And I don't think that he feels like that's what happened anymore. And I talked to him just before I got on the call, and I said, is it fair for me to say that that's not your opinion of what happened anymore? And I said, can I have your permission to say that? And he said, yes, you can. So, if that's not the way, if that's the way he feels today, then, that's big time news. If it's not the way he feels today and you're dragging up, skeletons out of the closet from a month ago, it doesn't do anything but turn it into a catastrophe again.
Exactly. And I think that's what people need to understand is it happened a month ago. Right. And so much more has transpired since a month ago. So why even bring it up?
Well, do you think that today or last week, if he still believed in his heart that that's what happened, do you think he would have gotten the car and drove 5 hours to North Carolina?
No.
Because he would have not bought into any of that. He would have thought it was AI or just sat on his rump and let law enforcement investigate it. But I mean, he was there quickly.
Mm-hmm. I do believe he deserves information.
I do too.
What about the photo? Can you give us an update on that or any information on that at all? Is that still being investigated or?
There was a release put out that the photo's not him. The family was contacted. I tried to get Seth to take a deep breath. I know he went to North Carolina. I told him they were probably not going to show him that camera footage, which they did not. I told him that it was part of an active investigation. That little part was an investigation in and of itself. So they took their time. They did their due diligence. They chased the family down. They made contact with the family. They acknowledged that it was someone that looked similar to him. It was not AI. It was a real person. But it simply was not him. So yesterday, you can imagine, yesterday was a tough day for Seth because he thought that he finally had potentially proof of life. And then on top of that, we get this Nancy Grace stuff that comes out. So it was a ride. I'd ask your viewers to pray for him because it's been rough.
I can imagine. We're your friends now. Yes.
Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. I appreciate you wanting to come share. So this information came out tonight.
Well, it came out yesterday in audio. It came out, I think it came out tonight on some platforms, but everybody on TikTok was talking about it last night.
Okay.
So what essentially happened was that we went on Nancy Grace. I talked to the producer. I told the producer very clearly that I know how Nancy Grace operates. We like Nancy, but we don't exactly trust her antics. We want to make sure that she understands that I've cleaned up a mess and I'm working on cleaning up a mess, and that we didn't want anything. We didn't want anything said that would make Chris or Katie look bad, because we've kind of given them our word that even though I don't represent them, we're going to play nice. So I talked to Holden, one of the producers. I talked to him 2 different times. He assured me that he had told Nancy what the plan was and what was off limits. The interview went great until they got to the point they were talking to Kendall, the polygrapher, and he was talking about the polygraph that Seth passed, no deceit, nothing like that. Everything was positive. Got into talking about some of the questions that he had asked Seth. One of those questions was, what do you think happened to Sebastian? And his response was that Seth told him that he believed that Sebastian took sleep aids and Katie was having problems putting him to sleep. So she essentially overdosed him and caused his death because he wouldn't go to sleep.
Wow.
So that was a month ago. So a little over a month ago. Obviously, we're different team now, different mindset, different concepts, all that. Tried to clean up all the drama, which is why I've got, half of YouTube hating my guts, because I've come on to try to help him clean up the mess. And you know how it is. A lot of these people, the drama is their content. And if the drama goes away, their content goes away.
There it is, folks. Thank you, Salty. So there's point proved that what Nancy wanted to put out, okay, what her plan was, okay, and he goes in and changes that. That's insanity. Do you realize? I know you guys know this. If that would have been played, the hellstorm that would have came out of that.
I mean, it was played. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know, but they took it off. A lot of people saw it. I know that. I'm just saying. The point is that's the hellstorm she was trying to create. That's disgusting to me. It didn't need to happen.
Well, I don't even know why that question would be asked. You know what I mean? If you guys, woo,
those were the questions she wanted asked. Those were played off of a list she handed over and said, "Ask these, if you will, please."
Well, and if you notice, I mean, she even the edited version, which we've seen tonight, was still antagonistic, right?
It was very hot. Yes, it was still very hot.
She still wants that content of having Chris come on our show and take a polygraph.
It was being played earlier. People were talking about it earlier, which is what I was going to look for, because it wasn't there, which is why Salty called in and said that they had taken it off. Because when I heard it, I didn't hear that was actually the well, yeah, we did hear that earlier. I heard it was on Pascal's show, but she obviously must have played it after the fact already. I was way late on this. So, and I'm glad that it's been clarified that he no longer feels that way, that's not the way it is, to shut everybody down on that, because that's, like he said, Seth has changed his outlook on this multiple times throughout the week. So,
wait a second. She said that was a month ago. He said
that's based on that That was the thought about a month ago, what he was thinking, his theory, I should say. Good night, Melissa. Have a good night.
So I wonder when the second test was taken then.
No idea. No idea.
It would have been about a month ago for the first one. Am I right?
April 10th.
So,
I think, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, that's true. Trying to be Coffindopper. It was released last night, then took down after Tony spoke with the producers, allegedly. Thanks, Salty. Yeah, because there was, like I said, it ended up on Pascal, from my understanding, and a couple other channels. So,
well, I guess that goes to show you that drama sells in mainstream media too.
well, we already knew that with her. See, she tried to deny the whole other side of things. She pulled that out and said, well, that's not true, and this isn't true, but this is what you were going to do anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever. Either way you do it, Nancy, it's still wrong. Do your thing, because everybody sees through it. Unbelievable. Because that's harsh, folks. That's harsh. That's probably the harshest thing I've heard yet. And I guarantee you that theory came from somewhere out here. He saw that in somebody's chat. I'm telling you.
We did. And I'm just going to tell you, it's a stupid theory. Okay. Let me tell you why. Every vehicle coming in and out of that neighborhood from that night to the next morning has already been vetted, verified, and they know who they were, where they were going. How did she get him out of the house without a car?
Thank you.
And I hear people are going to say, well, she could have done it in the morning when she was looking for him. No, she couldn't. Like, there is absolutely no way. Because, well, there was, okay, if you handed him to someone, sure. But the problem is, I don't think that is even fathomable. You know what I mean? Especially not her husband, who was at work at 5:15. You know what I mean? Or whatever time.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about, she couldn't have just pulled over somewhere and just dropped him off in a drain or a ditch or something. Why? Because they searched 5 miles around the house.
Yeah, he hasn't been seen. Nothing, not even a clothing. Yeah, it never made any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. But that's a narrative that a mainstream media, basically, organization is trying to push, because they know it's going to bring ratings. It would have caused a hellstorm for the next 2 weeks. More.
It still will. It still will.
I'm sure it's going to be out there. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because people heard it. You know what? That's funny, because we even saw when we were all, most of us, in Sarge's stream, people were coming in there saying that exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, I got to go to bed, Dago.
Yeah, I do too. I just realized how late it was. I started late. So thanks for joining me again. I'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. Clue and Cletus.
All right.
Have a good night. I mean, it could be a normal question, Faith, but the way that the basis of it is set up is just meant for negativity. There's probably a small chance, but it's very doubtful in this case that Katie would need missing time. Well, that's the thing. That's what kind of Clue was just saying too. We know when the call went in. Okay. We know there's a lot of things that would have to be overlooked at that point for that to work. And again, even if she would have done it at some point in time and taken him out and dropped him off somewhere, they've looked everywhere and nothing has been found. So and it's been professionally done multiple times. There's no way she hit him that fast and nobody could have seen him. So I can't believe that at all. Thank you so much, QRPB. It's wonderful to have you here, and that goes for all of you guys. I appreciate you guys being as respectful as you have been, very much, even though people disagree with some of the things I say and vice versa. It's still appreciated. Because again, we all are adults. We can all have our opinions and still disagree and shake hands and walk away at the end of the day, guys. That's what it's all about. So once again, absolutely, Al. Appreciate having you here, bro. Always love to see you in here. Guys. I got my fingers crossed, and I'm praying that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna see a headline somewhere that says Sebastian Rogers found safe and sound. And I'm telling you what, you guys will see me happier than you've seen me in a long time. So again, long day, guys. I'm burnt out. I want to thank again Miss Barbara Hall for joining us earlier this afternoon. And I'm hoping that there's something that comes out of that we can help. I used to be, Al. I'm not anymore. I'm too old. But I'm hoping there's something that can come out of that where we can help her with Timmy's case. Again tonight, guys, I think it was a good conversation. I really do. And I think it shows the people that do care, about whether or not Sebastian is found, and the people that only care about the drama that can come from this, which has pulled a lot out of it. I'll be honest with you guys, it amazes me that I think some of these people could pull drama out of a missing dog case. A dog runs away, and next thing you know, we'd be talking about a vet that has tried to kill the dog and attack the owner. And I mean, I'm just saying, I don't put it past it. That's where I'm at with this anymore. I've seen it all. I'll be honest with you, I've seen it all at this point. It's very insane. So it was a good conversation tonight. I think it was. And again, we said Sebastian Rogers' name how many times tonight, guys? I have the hiccups, Tomboy. I'm sorry. I talked too much. Too much oxygen going in. So we said his name a lot tonight. A whole lot. Okay? We showed his face. That's what we need to do. I appreciate you guys very much for supporting this. Thank you, Salty, again. My moderators, my producers, everybody, you guys are amazing. I could not, would not, and should not do this without you guys. I appreciate you so very much. I love you guys so very much too. And tomorrow is Thursday. I'll be here early afternoon tomorrow. So, and probably tomorrow night too. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. Please, guys, don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and please don't change a thing about yourselves, because you are the beautiful people. And I will see you all so very soon, guys. Good night and God bless.